Hello everybody and welcome to the Telkom VS Gaming Masters Season 5 matchup tonight between ATK Arena and Exdee Gaming. We have entered the realm of the championship elimination stage. This is where things start to get serious. We've got 16 teams who are going to be taking part in this part of the competition. But before we climb into all the action, I'm joined by my man Nix. How are you feeling about this game, my guy? Oh, there we go. I've given Nix all the royal introduction, and I haven't even unmuted my mic. Nix, welcome. Finally, my mistake. And I was just asking how you feeling about this game between these two fantastic teams.
Look, I had the stream open, as I hope a lot of people are watching keenly. So I was listening. I was there. I heard all the juice.
I'm glad.
But I'm keen to jump into it. Of course, we got ATK. The heavyweights that they are, but we've got Exdee, the up and comers, which I'm keen to see what they got in store. And I don't know how you feeling about this, but I'm keen to jump right into it.
Yeah, listen, I mean, one way or another, we're gonna have an entertaining game because we could see ATK just dominate, and when ATK dominates, it's quite something to spectate. So I won't be complaining because it's always really entertaining the way that they approach their games. Or we're gonna have a game where Exdee are actually able to make a fight of this and push ATK into some unfamiliar territory, get them into an awkward position, maybe steal a map or something like that and make it awkward. So let's see. But I do have something really interesting for us tonight, Nick. As we're heading into the championship elimination stage, I thought maybe should up the ante a little bit, get a bit more going in terms of production value and content. So I got a little 5-minute interview with Slowy before this match started. So I'm just going to jump straight in and play it. But make sure you listen on stream, bro, because he said some interesting things. Guys, I hope you enjoy what he had to say, and we'll see you when the interview's done. When I got it. There we go. Slowy, we're about to jump into the second stage of the event. We're going into the championship elimination stage. You guys have just come off a really impressive run in the group stage where you won all 8 of your matches without even dropping a map. How did you guys feel throughout the group stage?
I think the group stages for us was pretty, I'd say pretty confident.
Yeah.
Like, I think we were expected to go at least top 8 or 8-0, sorry, not top 8. I also think that some of the teams weren't expecting us to be like so prepared and maybe even, what's the word, not expect too much from them in a sense, like overestimate them.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, we took every single official as serious as we could.
Okay, so you're not taking any of your opponents too lightly, sort of thing. Even though you are comfortably the best team in South Africa, still giving respect to each of your opposition, just to make sure you don't drop the ball in a game you shouldn't, sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. We make sure that every single game we take as serious as possible, and we don't even we tend not to joke around too much in terms of doing dumb mistakes and stuff, because when you play differently in officials, like if you play a lower tier team and you play dumb in a sense, you actually start picking up on bad habits and you don't practice your actual routine, and then that can end up costing you down the line.
That's exactly it. I couldn't agree more. So we're going to be keeping this as brief as we can because I could talk to you for ages. Heading into the championship elimination stage, you guys are in the upper bracket, of course. You had the first seed, and you guys are playing against Exdee tonight. A few words on that game?
I know most of the Exdee players pretty well. I know TJ, I know Beast. Rusty, I don't know too well. I'm not sure who their 5th is going to be. Like,
yeah,
I think Creation as well. I knew that he played for Energy a while ago before I think Tian came in.
Yeah.
I think it should be a quick 2-0 in that kind of sense. Like, I don't think that they, as players, have enough time to like constantly be practicing every single night and stuff.
Yeah.
I know Tyler also works pretty hard as well. But I think at the end of the day, the amount of practice that we've been putting in for the last few months, we should be able to take it pretty cleanly.
Okay, cool. And if you do beat them as you expect to, you're probably going to be playing against Energy Esports in the next game. I was chatting to Mango the other night. He said you guys haven't actually played against each other in an official since he joined the Energy team. So that's kind of interesting. It's one of the teams that you actually haven't given a hiding to yet. You think that you shouldn't have any trouble getting across the line against them, or how do you feel with that prospect?
When we first started practicing against them, when they first got Mango, we noticed that they had a very big, I would say, a honeymoon phase where they were allowing him to do whatever he wanted to do, and like that's how we saw it. He was going for a lot of individual plays and stuff, which we kind of expected. They were playing pretty well as a team, but I think now that most of that excitement in a way has died down,
Yeah.
I think we'll be able to pretty much replicate what we used to do to the original team. So I think we'll be able to beat them 2-0 as well.
Okay, and if you win that game, then you're actually straight into like the third and final stage. You just have to win 2 consecutive best of 3s, and you've already secured your spot at Comic-Con online. I'm going to ask you one more question, but I already know what the answer is. Goals for the event as ATK?
Nothing less than a win.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is the biggest event you guys have actually played in as a team, so this is where it matters the most, sort of thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I think as the whole year has been, and we've been winning most of the tournaments, I think for us, it's just creating a consistency and making sure that everyone stays in the same mindset.
Yeah.
And we have the same goals going into next year.
Got you. Well, there we go. Thank you so much for joining me, Aaron. It's an absolute pleasure, and I wish you all the best of luck for tonight. Not that you need it, but yeah, hope you have a good one, man.
Thanks, bud. Cheers.
Cheers. And there you have it. That is the interview that I managed to capture with Slowy. Nix, what are your thoughts?
Look, I very much respect Slowy, not only as a player, but as a person. I see in that interview you conducted with him, there's nothing but a winner's mentality, which you can't do anything but respect, right? He doesn't underestimate any opponents.
Yeah.
He goes into every match 100%, and that's something I got to give him props to. Then ATK know themselves that they're the best in the country, but I have to give them props. They don't underestimate any opponent. They work as hard in this match as they would against the likes of Energy or Goliath. And I think that's something you got to definitely give props to the whole ATK roster as well as Slowy.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I mean, it comes through in their results, right? When do you ever see a shock victory with ATK losing to a lower tier team? Like, literally, it's been ages. I mean, the last time they were defeated was by Sinister 5 in that Umzansi League game on Train in a best of 1. But, like, other than then, it's actually been a while since they've even dropped a map. Of course, Goliath probably the last people to have done that to them, but yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. He certainly does have that winner's mentality, and he believes that tonight should be a fairly easy game, and I really appreciate the honesty from him in that aspect as well. He's not beating around the bush, trying to just play it down. He's actually coming out and being honest. He's saying, yeah, we actually practice this game nearly every day, all day. These guys, they don't have that luxury, unfortunately, so he knows we should be winning this game confidently and comfortably. And I really like it when players put that sort of pressure on themselves because they know what they're capable of achieving, and they're not shy of actually telling people. They're not shy of making that public. You know, like, I expect to beat these guys comfortably. That's not to say that Exdee can't make an upset happen, though. And that's what we love about esports, right? Is you can never fully count a team out.
100%. And I think one thing that we saw recently was when Spirit actually beat Vitality. Like, who would have thought that could have been a thing, right? But as you said, I mean, I 100% respect the mentality that he has. He says, listen, it's going to be 2-0.
Yeah.
And you can see that they've taken that mentality into other games where they haven't underestimated anyone, like you said, and they've cleaned up victories. And as you said, if you troll or don't take these games seriously, you could actually pick up bad habits. And that's something you don't want to do if your end goal is to go overseas and compete with people that are 10 times better than you. That's ultimately what ATK's goal is, right? So I 100% respect Slowy as a player, as a person, and ATK as a whole roster together. And we're going to see that they're going to get something done today throughout the tournament, and I expect nothing less, as you said, from ATK. I expect nothing less than a win themselves.
Yeah, and let's talk about what he spoke about towards the end there. I asked him what their goals were for this event, and he said anything less than the whole victory, the whole title, the name of champions. Anything less than that will be considered a failure. And obviously, there's no surprise there. They've been comfortably the best team in South Africa for a number of months now. They've won nearly every event that's come to the table. But this is the biggest event of this team's history. So this is where it actually matters the most for them to perform at the ability that we've seen them performing over these past few months. Can they bring it when it matters the most? This is the big match temperament that's going to be tested. And I certainly think they will be able to. There's no signs that tell me that this team is going to be cracking under pressure. Of course, it's going to take a while for them to be fully comfortable in these sort of scenarios, but I certainly do see them as comfortable favorites here. So I agree with him.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, we've seen what ATK can do in BO3 formats throughout like multiple cups, like hosted by GameDoc, etc. But ultimately, as you said, right, this is like one of the first big tournaments, actually the first like massive tournament that's coming up where we're going to look at ATK and be like, they've whitewashed everyone prior to this. Yeah. But now is when it really matters. Exactly. Now is when there's money on the line, reputation, etc. So we're going to see close to the end of September if they can show up, and when they do show up, because I believe they have what it takes. I think everyone watching knows that ATK is without a doubt the best in the country. But as you said, this is the time they got to show up. This is the time they got to show that they are the best and that they're here to stay. And maybe the exact opposite. Maybe they're here to go overseas or something. Maybe
well, that's the plan. Early 2021.
Exactly.
That is actually the genuine intention, is for this team to go over to North America and actually create a bit of a platform there for themselves. But yeah, just coming back to this game, it's actually an opportunity for ATK to make a bit of a statement going into this playoff bracket now. If they comfortably wallop Exdee, then it's going to be saying, yeah, we mean business. Whereas on the flip side, if they actually have a bit of a wobbly performance, it could give some more encouragement into their opponents down the line. Like if they win this, and we expect Energy to win their game against Online Kingdom, we'll see the two teams actually face up in the next round of the bracket. And they haven't played against each other in an official since Mango joined Energy. So that's a little bit interesting as well.
100%, and that's definitely going to be a storyline. We're going to see if that does play out. I mean, we've spoken about Online Kingdom and the possibility that they are an up-and-coming team, but as you say, I don't really see a way in which Online Kingdom could possibly beat Energy over 3 maps.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, I mean, expecting that it is going to be ATK Energy, that's definitely going to have a storyline to it. Mango, as Slowy said, was in that honeymoon phase with the Energy. We're going to see what they've got in props in the first official that we're going to see them play, hopefully. But ultimately, tonight is Exdee. They've got to take each match as it comes. And I think, as we said prior, I don't really see a way in which ATK lose this or even go to 3 maps. But ultimately, we're going to have to see what they have on the server tonight.
You know what the funny thing is about these games for ATK? Is it's not even about winning, because they wouldn't be content with like a 2-1 scrape by win. You know what I mean? They're going with the expectation of actually like dominating this. So it's not even about just securing the win. It's actually about securing the win in the fashion that they want. So it actually puts a little bit more pressure on themselves, but that's the standard that they're always setting for themselves. Let's chat a little bit more about Exdee now. We've spoken about ATK, we've broken them down. Let's talk a little bit about this Exdee team. Of course, the players who are going to be featuring in the roster tonight are Creation, TJ, Makmur, Rusty, and KZR. So immediately my eyes go to Makmur. I get super excited when I see him on the server, and whenever he's in the match, there's always potential for fireworks.
100%. And I mean, we've spoken about people that come up with just mechanical ability, and I think Makmur is one of those, right? Like, he's got aim on him, and behind the brains of Rusty, behind the operation of Exdee, as I said prior, I don't see them winning, but I definitely see some close rounds and seeing what Exdee have to put in store for us, right? We weren't able to cast any of their games prior to this one. So now this is the first time that I'm going to be sitting down and watching Exdee with 100% of my concentration.
Okay.
And we're going to see what they can put on the server. Otherwise, like TJ and Creation, they're also very good mechanically. KZR as well. I mean, the whole roster is pretty good, but as we said prior, ATK, they're a beast to be reckoned with, and Exdee, they got to show up on the server. All 5 players need to be firing at full force. We're going to see what they can get done.
That's the thing, right? Is ATK are just going to test Exdee with their sheer brute force in the early stages of the game. They're going to say, can you actually just take us with Slowy wide swinging with your pushing up banana by himself? Can you handle that? Oh, yes, you can. Okay, now we will filter back and fall back on our structure and our gameplay that we can rely on. But the first thing that Exdee's, or rather that ATK is always going to test their opposition with, is that brute force approach. Can you handle us? Can you slap us when we go for these aggressive plays? Because if not, they're going to get in your faces for the entire match.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at we've mentioned the mechanical power on Exdee, and now we've got to look at the mechanical power on ATK. I mean, you've got the brains beyond the brawn has missed him, and then you've got Slowy and Fady. I mean, I think those are probably top 2 of the top 3 teams in the country, the top players in the country right now. So it's just something to keep in mind. Like we got Fady, who he's played overseas, he's got that experience.
Yeah,
Missed him. He's also gone to India and performed at LAN. I mean,
yeah,
they've got extreme mechanical talents on that roster, and it's definitely going to be something that Exdee are going to be a bit wary of.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. So I'm just quickly making sure the HUD is all set up correctly. Oh, we've lost you, Nick. Where have you gone? Yeah, let's bring you up again. There we go. There's this like weird bug where if I go into game and then minimize again, your camera disappears from the HUD for some reason. So that's fun. Anyway, we've got the maps. I'm going to just spit them out to you and you can just talk a little bit about it. Inferno was picked by Exdee. Overpass picked by ATK. And then Nuke is our third map of the series.
Look. All 3 of these maps actually. I don't want to trash talk anyone, but I don't see a way in which Exdee get a considerable number of rounds against ATK. I mean, we've spoken about this before. We expect ATK to take a 2-0, but I was speaking to Rusty prior to this game actually, just over Steam messages, and he said ATK probably have the best nuke in the country.
Yeah,
and that's something scary. Like
hands
you
down.
definitely don't want. Yeah. You definitely don't want to go to the third map against ATK, and I don't see Exdee taking this 2-0. So I mean, but in Inferno, Overpass. I mean, we saw during the Game Dot Cup actually, ATK played Vindictive. ATK got on T side, and Vindictive didn't get a CT round on Inferno.
I remember that.
And they were 10-5 down. I might add, and they just stomped them. So. I mean, this is going to be scary for Exdee, but we're going to see what they got under wraps. Maybe they've been doing their work, anti-stratting, maybe. I don't know.
Watching
like,
their
can
demos.
You anti-strat Fady, Slowy, and the boys? Can you do that?
That's a good question. The one thing that I will say that Exdee might have going for them here is actually the Inferno pick. If there's one map that ATK have looked shaky on outside of Vertigo, which they haven't really played that much, it's probably Inferno. It's the one map that Goliath have actually been able to get the better of ATK on. It's the only map, actually. And ATK have reverted to actually just permanently banning Inferno against Goliath Gaming. So in this matchup, they went for another ban. I'm not sure it was either Dust Train or Vertigo. I'm assuming, well, regardless, they didn't ban Inferno in the first phase, so Exdee have picked Inferno, and Makmur can be devastating on this map, in particular on the CT side with the AWP. He's just one of those players who will constantly be peeking you early round, whether he's going apartments, middle, banana, pushing all the way through the corridor towards T-apps. Like, he just makes the craziest plays. He's not afraid to re-peek you, and we know that CT side Inferno is one of those halves where AWP can really start to take over the game. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on him, and it looks like we're actually going to be going into the game any minute now, so not much longer before we jump in.
I think something to keep in mind that yesterday actually Exdee played Goliath on Inferno, and that finished 16-14 to Goliath.
Yeah.
I mean, and speaking to Rusty after the game, he said, "Oh, they threw rounds, and that's maybe it should have gotten an Exdee victory." I know, obviously, that's only hearing from one camp, but obviously Exdee, they've taken Goliath to 30 rounds on arguably the team that plays the best Inferno in the country, right?
Yeah,
so.
Sure.
Clearly, Exdee rather, they're confident enough in their Inferno to pick it against ATK and to take it to a BO1 against Goliath. So
yeah.
Exdee, they know what they're doing on this map. At least I hope so. If they take Goliath to 30 rounds, and I don't know, maybe it's a bit of an upset. I mean, an upset in this sort of case is ATK dropping a map, but that's something to keep in mind, right? I mean, if Exdee can take a map off ATK, I think that's a victory in itself. I mean, no one watching, no one thinking about this game is going to expect Exdee to take a map. I'm pretty sure, or at least I doubt that's the case. I think everyone pretty much has ATK 2-0 on the betting cards.
Yeah, I mean, you would be a bit of a madman if you're putting money on the game and you didn't go for the ATK 2-0.
Yeah.
I see a comment on my bed once again. I can confirm that it's made really well, you know, with conviction. Proud military grade bed making. No need to hide anything tonight. Okay, yeah, so just a few more minutes before we jump in, guys. We're just waiting for Slowy to reconnect to the server. He's just switching over to his generator. He'll be in any moment, and then we'll be jumping into the series. Of course, this is the first match of the second stage of the Telkom vs Gaming Masters Season 5. This is the Championship Elimination stage. There are 16 teams taking part of this particular stage, and there are 8 teams in the upper bracket with 8 teams in the lower bracket. The 8 teams who are in the upper bracket all placed in the top 4 in their groups in the group stage, which happened prior to this stage. This is now the culmination of that stage. We've got the 16 teams, and after this we're actually only going to have 4 teams left standing. So 12 teams will be eliminated in this stage. If you want to actually check out the tournament information, you can head over to Tournament's website, and you can check the full history of the tournament. You can see all the matches that are coming up, the schedule, the results. I'm actually going to be even posting a link in chat so that you guys can go and follow it yourselves.
Something I brought up obviously was the Exdee game last night against Goliath, and Tools actually just said that ADM wasn't playing. So I mean, that's kind of a big factor that Rusty failed to comment on. So that's interesting. But okay, that maybe sways it a bit more to the ATK 2-0. I had a bit of a doubt in my mind that maybe Exdee could take a map, but
yeah,
I mean, if ADM wasn't playing that game, it would be pretty much it is what it is, you know. But I mean, I think anyone watching, right? I don't think anyone has ATK losing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Nick, I can see someone in chat saying the casters don't seem biased, and he's being like super sarcastic. Here's the thing: we're not being biased. We're actually speaking the honest situation for what this game actually looks like right now. And you know why it's actually best to do that? Because if Exdee actually somehow come and win this game, that's going to be speaking volumes as to how crazy it is that they made the upset happen in the first place. That they were capable of actually overcoming the best team in South Africa, and it really then it really pushes up the magnitude of the situation. So this isn't biased by any stretch. This is actually us just looking at the situation and speaking objectively about how this game is depicted right now. So that's just my take on it. I'm just going to be straight up honest with that.
100%. And I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, anyone who plays CS in South Africa, or at least at a competitive level, ATK is seen as the untouchables, right? I mean, we've said prior to this that we don't want that to be the case. As Mango said in the interview we had prior to this game, or on Friday rather, he said ATK aren't as far in front as everyone thinks. But the fact is that they're still first, right? And Exdee is not really in that conversation of top 3, maybe even a top 4, or even a top 5 team in the country. So it's not that we're leaning or biased towards ATK. It's just like, it's just a fact, you know. ATK in the run-up to this game, ATK are just better than Exdee, and maybe this is the chance for Exdee to show us different. Maybe we're wrong, maybe everyone's wrong, but I mean, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, well, I'd love to be proven wrong, because that would mean that we would have an awesome series if that would be the end result. Anyway, like I said, whenever Makmur is on the server, genuinely anything is possible. He really is a force to be reckoned with. He's been a player in the South African scene for a long time. He's actually been wearing the purple colors, the Exdee badge on his chest for a long time as well. Sort of just in and out of the team. He's got other things going on in his life. He's quite a busy man, but when he's got some time on his hands, he just picks up the game once again, and he just looks like he never put it down. It's definitely one of my favorite players to watch.
Yeah, I think on the ATK sort of side, we got like just the mechanical brilliance of Fady, right? I mean, that it seems like that guy never misses. And obviously Slowy is one to also look at. I mean, just the way he ops, the way he's so aggressive, the way he just peaks what he wants to peak, and he gets free kills, what looks like free kills. But I mean, it is what it is, you know. I mean, the ATK side of things missed him, the brains behind the brawn against Rusty.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see a way in which Exdee even have a say in this game. But as we said prior, we need something to throw a spanner in the works, something to maybe be like, whoa, okay, Exdee mean business, and then we'll see what happens later on in the match. But ultimately, I'm putting my neck out there. As we said, I don't think it's very risky to say so. I think it is going to be a 2-0 ATK. I don't know what chat thinks, and I don't know what you think, but I'm pretty sure you're on the same boat as me.
I am indeed. Just making sure that our HUD is all set. Got a quick peek there, and it wasn't looking too good, Nick, so I want to just figure out exactly what's going on there. Map 1 is indeed Inferno, then followed up by map 2 is going to be Overpass, and then map 3 is indeed Nuke. As you guys can hear the sounds in the background, any moment now we will be live. I've got word that Slowy has connected to TeamSpeak, so any minute now he should be reconnecting to the game, and we'll be jumping in.
Ooh, I'm keen. This is one of the first times that I'm seeing. Well, obviously, actually, I lie. That is a complete lie. I mean, we've seen ATK play against Goliath in the BO5 at the Game Doc final.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was with the map advantage to keep in mind. So the 3-0 scoreline is a bit misleading. It's not actually 5 maps that were played. It was more a BO3 in that regard. But I mean, in that sort of stance, ATK absolutely whitewashed Goliath. They played, I think Mirage was one of those maps. I can't remember what the other map was. But unfortunately, we're not seeing a Mirage tonight. So I think ATK pretty much quite comfortably have the best Mirage in the country. I think Nuke is probably one of their best maps. I think Mirage and Nuke are their 2 best maps, and I think they take the spot for the best maps in the country. But as you said prior, Inferno is definitely not up there for them. But maybe this is a way in which Exdee have a say in this BO3. Maybe they get double digits on this sort of map or something. I don't know what to expect from the side of Exdee. As I said to Rusty before, I've never watched Exdee play before. I've always underestimated them. Maybe they've got something in the locker that no one's ready for. But I mean, I'm excited to jump into it, Well, when Slow is connected, obviously.
And I can breathe a massive sigh of relief because the HUD is now set and working. Of course, you run all the tests and everything before you jump into the stream. Everything's running smooth as it possibly can. And then as it comes to jumping in live, that's when the issues start coming. Anyway, the HUD is up. Everything's looking good. And we are ready to go here on this fine Monday evening. We're actually blessed to have a game because there was talk of no stream whatsoever tonight. Of course, we were going to do Energy versus Online Kingdom originally. That game had to be postponed because of load shedding. ATK and Exdee weren't actually even going to play against one another because they were going to reschedule, but thankfully they were able to make a plan and come up with something. So we have a match tonight. We're actually supposed to have a match every single night of the week for the rest of the week, guys. So clear your schedule from 8 p.m. because there's going to be a banging game of Counter-Strike. We've got some fantastic games lined up over the next couple nights, guys. So join us, become part of the journey, join us as we go all the way to Comic-Con Online, be a part of the storylines, and it's really something to behold. This is the biggest event of the year, a 210,000 Rand prize pool, and it's really going to be a fun journey.
I'm very excited to jump into it, and something we haven't actually mentioned is we've gone from the BO2 format to BO3s, right? So we saw possible upsets come out in the BO2s, maybe 1-1 draws or maybe even a 2-0 victory for an underdog. But in BO3s, that doesn't happen as often, right? I mean, you just ban your first ban. You're able to pick more often than not your best map, and you'd often quite take that in the best regard. And I think someone mentioned earlier, Exdee were able to get a draw out against Energy. I mean, in a BO3 format, will that really happen though? Will you really get that all decisive map against Energy? I don't know. We'll see that in the future if Exdee are able to face Energy, either in this or in the lower bracket. But that's a different storyline in itself. But I mean,
for sure,
I'm excited to jump into it, and I actually know that Mistim actually made plans, because he actually had load shedding, but he's actually at Richard House's house tonight. So
exactly.
He's made a plan, and we're able to watch this.
Yeah, I love it. I'm really glad as well. I mean, I was in 2 minds about it because if Mistim wasn't there and ATK had to play with their sub, then that would certainly up the ante. Would make the game more interesting from that regard. But you also want to see ATK with their full squad because that's also always something to enjoy. But they just got that symphony of Counter-Strike. They like to be really aggressive, and it's just it always provides the entertainment. And you also want a fair fight, right? You don't want Exdee to have this amazing upset victory and it's be like, yeah, well, we were using our subs, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then you always have the arguments of like, yeah, no, they don't have a full roster. Exactly. But I mean, in terms of the ATK side, I mean, if you lose an IGL, or not even ATK, in terms of any one sort of roster, if your IGL is the player that has to sit out for whatever reason, whether it's load shedding or just can't make the game, that's a big difference regardless of what roster you're looking at. I mean, even having a secondary IGL or maybe a mid-round caller being that primary in-game leader role, it's hard, and it definitely will have an effect on the team.
Absolutely.
And I know that's what Rusty was pretty confident before this game, rather, is he thought they weren't going to play with Mistim, and then I told him that they are, and then he just said oof. He didn't have a real response to that. So
oh really?
I mean, yeah, he said he was feeling confident.
Okay.
And then because he said Mistim wasn't playing, and then I said Mistim is playing, and then he just went oof. So that's something to keep in mind. But Knife is live. No one's going to knife though. Everyone's going to kill in console. For those of you who don't know, if you pick the map, you don't get to pick sides. The team that didn't pick the map gets to pick sides, and then easy peasy, and we can jump into the CS sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a wait, but we are moments away now. We're on the precipice of getting into this matchup here. This is the opening game of the Telkom vs Gaming Masters Season 5. So, yeah, really keen to jump into it, get into the swing of things. We've had a bit of a break, Nick. You know, a couple of weeks off after the group stage. I've definitely missed it. And I'm actually really keen to have 7 nights in a row of Counter-Strike. And here we go, into the first round of the evening. This is Inferno, picked by Exdee. ATK had the choice of sides. They've chosen to start on the CT side. They've got 2 flashes and a kit on Mistim, and on the opposite side, Exdee, they've actually got quite a lot of utility to work with. They've got 4 flashes and 2 smokes.
I mean, I assume Mistim is probably going to hold a coffin flash for a early aggressive peek towards upper B if Exdee do choose to rush it, but that's not going to be the case. Slowy's going to appear towards second middle, get a bit of a dink. He's tagged out to 18, but ultimately it's just all 5 Exdee players congregating towards second middle, doing a bit of a creepy crawly up in towards Apps' Fady.
Oh, man.
Towards middle. Oh, the confidence in this man is something that you can't even discourage. And Slowy's the same thing. He's peeking Apps on 18 points of health and he gets a kill.
What an absolute madman. Fady takes down TJ as well. And just like that, the strategy's been foiled. The pieces have fallen and they're not in position either. Now they're going to have to try and reconcile the situation with only 3 players left alive. Fortunately for them, they do still have a bit of utility to work with. But Blazers push down Banana. He's missing his shots, but he will be able to recompose himself and eventually get that frag. Now it leaves Creation and Makmur in a pretty awkward position. 2v5. Not really any map control to speak of. Not really many options at their disposal. They're being crunched in as well. ATK are looking to suffocate them right now. They don't want to give them a glimmer of hope. Flashing them off the angle, just making their lives a living misery. Creation frantically pushing forward, looking to find a frag. He'll find the first, but that's all it's going to be as he goes down. Now it's Makmur left in the clutch, but he's already been brought down to 5 points of health. So it's pretty much an unwinnable situation unless he can pull off something absolutely insane. It's actually very low health right now on Slowy. He had been brought down so early on in the round, but he just still continues to wreak havoc. The living nightmare, and eventually Makmur will be put down with the clean 1-tap from Blaze.
As soon as we thought Makmur had a chance, he just gets 1-tapped by Blaze from Arch, and that's pretty much how we thought the round was going to go. It was a 3v5, maybe a 2v5 in that situation, I can't quite remember. But be there as it may, ATK get the first round on the board. Not as clean as possibly they would have liked, considering how they went up in that round. But Exdee ultimately, 5 players fall, 2 players stay alive for ATK, and the first round goes ATK's way on Exdee's map pick.
And how aggressive were ATK in that pistol round? Just making an absolute statement, pushing everywhere, man, and re-aggressing and re-peeking like Mistim right now. He didn't get any action in the pistol round, so he wants to get a couple frags for himself now with the SMG. Slowy's re-peeking as well. This is looking like a matchmaking right now. These guys aren't afraid of anything. They've already pushed down Banana as well. Flurry of frags goes the way of ATK. Again, they don't even drop a single player. Well, they did drop a couple in the previous round, my mistake, but they don't drop any this round.
But that's something to keep in mind, right? The ATK is just raw aggression. We saw it in the pistol round. As soon as presence was shown towards middle and brackets was lost, Blaze pushed Banana. And that's something that's going to happen on gun rounds.
Yeah, sure.
If Exdee are going to be lazy and they're not going to cover their defaults properly, ATK are going to take advantage of that, right? They're going to make you make your own mistakes in that regard. If you lose eyes Banana, they're going to take it back from you. And this is exactly what they're doing. They're using the SMGs to get up close and personal. Banana's been given to them. And Rusty's already tagged down to 34 points of health. And that nade is going to finish TJ off Kobe, says Doru. And man advantage goes the way of ATK.
Yeah, and this is a bonus round as well, Nick. They look at how much money they have in the bank. If they lose this, they're going to be able to full buy in the next round regardless. So this is a round that like Exdee can almost ill afford to lose. I know it's really early on to say something like that, but just considering the advantage with the weaponry at their disposal right now, it's a round that they almost have to get across the line, because if they can't win these sorts of rounds, it's going to be tough. However, doesn't mean it's the end of the road if they can't. Early days here, they have lost 1 player. They still have Util though to work with. And you can see that ATK have already rotated the extra player out of that B bomb site. Rusty starting to re-explore Banana and gain some control. This is the first step. If he force that CT player back, and KZR actually finds the timing there. He's going to pick up a double kill. No trade available either. He's going to continue to poke and prod in middle. That's going to be keeping those players towards the A bomb site. That means there'll only be one towards B. Can KZR find anything else here? Look at the aggression from Mistum. He's pushing down middle. He's going to go undetected. Does KZR check this though? He does. And he catches Mistum in transition. What a massive round from him. Now he's also going to know the A bomb site's open. Exdee just going to continue to push the B. This could be a trouble. Blaze is here right now. I wonder if he can actually make a stand.
Oh, okay. Mahmoud takes down Fady and 1 HP on him, but now it's Blaze left and 1v4. They should know each other, but he gets the first. The bomb does get planted, he gets the dink, but ultimately gets taken out. But I'm not quite sure what happened there over towards N1. I just believe maybe I think it was Doru and Slowy. They got caught with their pants down. I'm not really sure how that happened. Maybe a bit of miscom. Maybe they're trying to plan a double peek and it didn't just quite go the way.
Yeah.
But KZ are able to get 3 in the round. Exdee able to post their first. But we are seeing a reinvestment from ATK. And the AWP is on Slowy. The big green gun has joined the server.
Yeah. Not wasting any time picking up that weapon at his soonest opportunity, and he's already going to be taking a peek down middle here as he looks, and he's going to find the head of Makmur playing in the underpass, already opening up his account of AWP frags here on Inferno. And that's just so characteristic.
Yeah. He's like, if anyone is like relatively new to watching CS, I mean, take notes when you're watching ATK, right? I mean,
yeah,
I know they're mechanically just insane, pretty much all of the players in their roster, but just the way they play CS, the way they think about the game. I mean, Miston is known as probably one of the smartest players in the country, but yeah. I mean, it's something to keep in mind.
When you do take notes, though, I almost want to add, don't try this at home, because there's a lot of the things that they do that just the common, standard Counter-Strike player isn't going to be able to pull off. So yeah, pick and choose what you take from their arsenal.
Yeah.
But definitely watch and see, maybe you can pick up a trick or two, because they like to read their opposition and try and get in and amongst them. Their CT side is incredibly proactive. They're always making moves. And right now it's a fake towards the B-bomb side by TJ, but he's been dealt with quite swiftly. And ATK already on the aggression. You can see Doru's got the info that there's no further presence. So they'll probably refocus themselves towards A now, which is where Exdee are pursuing.
Slowy is holding Arch, and they're going to walk right into his crosses. Slowy's at least good for one. Rusty entertaining his AWP, and they're going to go back for more. Slowy able to get one, stay alive, and now it's a 2v5, and they're locked towards Arch. They can't do anything. The rotates are coming in. I don't see a way in which Exdee win this round. Misty was able to get one, Fady with the next. And now there's AKs in the CT side, and Fady's got one of them. I'm scared if I'm Exdee.
Yeah, and you know what I actually really like about that round out of ATK? After Slowy finds that opening pick with the AWP, they actually just revert back to super passive angles. They don't continue to force the issue and look to take fights. They know they've got the man advantage, so it's not at all necessary for them to continue to force the issue. They drop back, they force Exdee to make the next move, and they don't even drop a single player further thereafter. So great gun round by ATK. Now they're going to go up against the pistols.
Oh, but they don't care. Slowy just pushed second middle with the AWP, and now he's going to try to reposition, but he's actually caught in transition by Mahmoud. And as we said prior, Mahmoud is one of those players to look for. Fady's going to reposition. Yes. He's able to get 3 on the spray, but KZR's having none of it. He wants that AK. But as I said prior, like, Blaze has just pushed middle. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Super aggressive, getting all the information in the world. KZR left in the clutch. They now know where he is as well. And he's going to go down to Blaze 4-1. So how do Exdee actually approach this? I mean, I feel like the first line of defense, and it's ironic, I know I'm saying defense with them being on the T side, but they almost do need to defend in the early stages of the round. And they need to try and shut down the early aggression from ATK by just posting on the angles, not showing presence, because that's when ATK pushes through. Then you try and punish them. You find a frag or two. You create a chink in the armor, and that's where you can try and exploit them. Shut down the aggression. You create an opportunity for yourself. And Slowly's going to peek middle once again, off of the back of the run boost. Surely he doesn't re-peek this, Nick. I'm saying it, but I don't believe it, because I know that he's going to re-peek it. He completely blinds up Mahmoud, and he finds the frag. This is, oh man, it's a symphony in motion.
Honestly, I mean, it's like watching Slowy demos is like watching Simple. Like, he just relies on his aim. He doesn't care. He just knows he can out-aim the other player. That's exactly what he did over towards ramp. I mean, it's a privilege watching this guy play this game. His creation's actually digged by Fady, and he could finish him off with a nade. Never mind.
And that's why I say, like, he's not going to repeat this, right? But then I'm like, wait, it is Slowy, so he's got another opportunity. Yeah, once again, up close to the smoke. Muslim's going to be able to pick up 2. He finds a kill as well, and they've shut down the aggression in the 2 versus 3 towards Archers. Again, they haven't even dropped a single player. Can Creation find a frag? He's low. They didn't get a kill in the previous round either. He will be able to find one, but he doesn't expect Doru to just be right near Slowy there as well. So the crosshair placement slightly off. And that's
They didn't save the AWP, which is in... oh, never mind. Okay, Doru did actually pick it up. I was about to say no one picked up the AWP, but they did actually. And Slowy's got the spawn for middle, so I can put my money on it that he's going to re-peek it again. He doesn't care that he's peeked it 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
He's just going to do it.
I mean, in
terms of...
Sorry, I see a comment about the stream stuttering. I've got it on my second screen here and it looks fine. I don't know if that's just Last Shark or if everybody's experiencing that. Nick, I don't know if you can just have a look over there and see if everything seems to be running smoothly.
It seems fine for me, but I mean...
Okay. Alright, just
maybe
checking
we
to
got
make
the
sure.
inside info.
Okay, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there if you still remember what you your point you were going to make.
As you said prior, you said what can Exdee do right in this sort of scenario? Like we've seen ATK, they're known for just peaking, essentially. Yeah. They're known for just aggressing Slowy and Fady. Of course, that's going to happen. They can just out-aim you. Exdee, they just got to do the basics right. If they can get their default down, flash, AWPers off angles, or even riflers in this case, if they can do the basics right and correct, that's when they can look at getting a couple rounds. And I don't want to see anything fancy from Exdee, but if they can do the basics, as I said, get the defaults down, take map control, take brackets, take banana, etc., deny info from ATK, which is going to be important. That's how they're going to win rounds. But Fady is able to get 4, and I'm going to shut up as ATK Fady is going to look to get the ace, but Slowy's having none of it. He's going to take it from him.
It's fine.
But that wasn't...
It was the anti-eco, so it's not that impressive. You know, I'm going to play it down a bit. It's just the anti-eco, so it's good. That's always when I use my chance to get the long points across as well. You know, it gives you a bit of downtime.
We got 2 James Bonds on the server.
Yeah, I noticed that. TJ and Rusty both looking for their first frag/assist. I wonder who's going to go the deepest, Nick.
Oh, I'm not going to say that. That's just disrespectful.
Yeah. No, it's a rhetorical question. Don't stress. No answer required. Slowy gets tagged up there as he tries to potentially get aggressive towards the apartments, but the fire forces him off. So, Exdee, they actually pick up their first round in the previous one there, Nick, and they're going to be looking for some more here. As, wait, what?
Fady just peeked second apps, and he got dinked down from the box, and Slowy jumped second middle to peek info, and he got naded and mollied. But he still gets the kill.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, I think that's actually, if anything, from creation, that could possibly be a misplay, because you saw Slowy jump early in the round. You gotta have that idea that there could be an AWP posted. I didn't see him jiggle. Maybe I caught it a bit too late. I didn't see him possibly try to bait out a shot. But be that as it may, the man advantage is ATK's way. As it looks like Exdee are going to try for a possible B pop. But there are 3 ATK players here. Missed him, and the boys have got the read.
Yeah, they have indeed. Exdee group themselves up towards top banana. They've got a little bit of util left, but it's going to be enough to at least make the execute happen. Can they follow it up with the frags required, though, as Auto Director sends us to the opposite side of the map? We do return to the action, though, and TJ is going to be doing the entry dirty work here for his team. He actually transitions before he finds the first kill, but he will be able to find the second. KZR and Makmo chiming in with a couple kills of their own, and that's actually a successful B take for Exdee, as they're going to secure a bomb plant at the bare minimum. They also have the man advantage. Slowy looking for the shot through the coffins. He's actually not going to be able to connect. So now they know where he is. He still does find the frag onto KZR. Makmur looking to try and get in on the action, and he does find that kill. This should be around set and done. Only 5 points of health here for Fady as he does peek the angle. Forces Makmur back. He's got the molly. Gonna go towards Bry. He wants to cook himself some Rusty, but Rusty on the jump shot's gonna find his first kill, and he's trying to avoid the flames frantically. Oh my god. He stays alive. I mean, no Bride Rusty today.
no Bride or Rusty indeed, but I mean, I have to give props to Exdee for that run. They walked into the 3-man stack.
Yeah,
it was a bit unlucky from the ATK players. I mean, Blaze trying to reposition. I think it was Doroops playing anti towards second oranges. It was a bit unlucky from them in that regard, but I mean, TJ is able to get 2 on the entry, I believe, or maybe 1 his teammate came into trade. But ultimately, Exdee they did that round pretty nice.
Yeah,
they walked into 3. They stayed with 3 alive and played the post plant relatively well.
Yeah,
and as you said prior, they got to do the basics well. That was a good B take. Maybe they could go back on something like that, but obviously you need more things that you got to fall back on. You can't just take B every round, right? That's not how you got to win a game, especially against ATK.
Yeah. But, I mean, like you said, they actually had quite a few players over at the B-bomb site at ATK, so the fact that Exdee were successful is a pretty good sign for them. Now they're going to be reverting back towards A, at least in the early stages of the round, and slowly re-aggresses. He catches KZR off guard. Again, he just seems to constantly find these timings towards the A bomb site as he picks and chooses the battles he's fighting. Now he's going to be repeating with Mistum between the two of them. It's Mistum on the close angle who was taking the attention, and now he's actually going to swing wide. The trades are successful for Exdee. But Blaze comes through, pushing down Banana. He's going to be shutting down the round once again. He has a really good understanding of the timing of when he needs to get aggressive and when he needs to be passive. And I actually think it's a bit of an element in the game he's really improved on. I think he used to be a bit too passive playing the B-bomb site, but I don't know if it's just the confidence he's gotten from this ATK team or what it is, but he's definitely been more aggressive and having more of an impact on the CT side.
I think the first European or North American pro that jumps to mind for me when I see Blaze pushing Banana like that is probably, oh, okay, my commit gets taken up by Slowy, is probably Fur, right? I mean,
yeah,
Fur's known for that B-bomb side play, especially during the SK days. He plays for MIBR now, but he's always the one that's pressing the issue in Banana. Even if he's solo B, he's going to push it. And that's exactly what Blaze did. You saw all the info middle. He pushed B, he got 2 kills, and that's definitely going to be something later on in the round. And as we said, ATK, prior to this, if Exdee are going to win a map, it is going to be Inferno, but ATK are looking comfortable. They're doing things nicely, doing things well, they're checking all the boxes.
Yeah.
It's a 4v3 when Exdee are 7-2 down.
And they're just sticking to their bread and butter here, taking Banana control and then rotating the extra player across to the A bomb site. Exdee with 1 minute and 3 seconds left on the clock, potentially going to work their way towards this B bomb site. They've understood that this is the game plan. They know that ATK are taking control and rotating the player, so they're trying to exploit that, but ATK are one step ahead. They've already got the second player cemented in that B bomb site. Nice shot there from Creation as he finds Slowy, but he's not going to be expecting Mistum to re-aggress as well. He nearly swivels in time. That could have been dramatic if Creation found that kill, because that would have opened up the A bomb site, but Mistum comes out on top, and that's going to be forcing Exdee to actually execute on this B bomb site, and they just push into a solid hold between Blaze and Doru. Doru up close there, shutting them down with ease.
And I think one thing to keep in mind for that two-man B setup, you got one player coffins, one player playing close to the smoke. The reason why they do that is usually the flash that's thrown over is going to blind that coffins player. But playing so close to the smoke, you got to right-click a flash, and you don't want to do that when you got 2 players alive. You got to push through the smoke. That's not going to be a fun time. One player playing close, and that's something to keep in mind for ATK. They're already playing off each other, playing off each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah,
good setup, something to keep in mind later on. And Slowy's going to see 5 players, even though he's blind. Tags down Leggy.
God.
Legs down Rusty, I mean, not tags down Leggy, but Doru gets to Blaze with 1 and 2v4 situation. And we're looking at 9 for ATK already. We're watching push take, says Triton.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said before this game even started. ATK are going to test you with the outright aggression. It's no surprise. Nobody should be not expecting that anymore, because that's just how they approach all their matches. They will test you. If you can shut them down, then they shift into second gear, and that's when they bring the next game plan to the table. And that's when it actually becomes a little bit easier for you, because you get more room to work with, because you force them to respect you. Exdee with their 2 remaining players working towards this B bomb site. They've got 2 smokes, and they're going to be just smoking off CT and coffins, I assume, although KZR just holding on to his as he makes his way forward. Once again, the crossfire is in play, although the first frag will go down. The trade will be on the table, though, so that's a bomb plant at the bare minimum and an opportunity for the IGL, although actually, as I say that, Rusty the IGL? Rusty the IGL. TJ is left in the 1 versus 2, looking to double up his scoreline, and he's actually going to catch Fady off on the angle. Now he converts it into the 1 versus 1, far more doable. Mistum just getting super aggressive. He doesn't expect TJ to push, but TJ can't capitalize. Now he has to revert back, and he goes for the passive option. Mistum drops a smoke on the bomb, he taps the defuse, and that just makes the clutch all too easy. Oh my god, I hate that, Nick. When you're the T, and the CT has a smoke, and they just tap the bomb, you have no choice but to commit, and you like almost always lose that situation.
Yeah, I mean, Mistum, the brains, you know, I don't see a way. Of course, I mean, TJ, if anything, it was a bit of a mistake. He whiffed onto Mistum in Bri, but Mistum made him pay for his mistake at the end of the day. He clutched out the 1v1, 9 on the board for ATK. And as you said, that relentless aggression is going to be something that's going to condition Exdee to start maybe leaving a player to watch flank, right? And then maybe that aggression never comes.
Yeah,
and it's all about that conditioning. If you carry on conditioning your opponent to think you're playing a certain way and then you switch it up, you're going to be playing them like a fiddle. But actually, Rusty's found himself over towards Device. I don't know whether ATK know about this. Rusty's going to be entertained. He's found out. They're actually going to think better of it, but they're actually going to nade in response. And Rusty, 19 points of health. They know he's there. They should finish him off. There's the body. Rusty, there's the Bri. There's the Bri. His body flies into the sky.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. And like you painted, Rusty was actually in a pretty good position there because ATK weren't aware of it, but he couldn't capitalize on it. As soon as they figured it out, he was toast or steak, as to go with the analogy you were creating there. Slowy finds another frag towards B, and he's allowed his teammate to rotate across now as he just maintains the control of Banana. One-man deficit for Exdee. They've got very little util left, but they've got the Molly, Smoke, and Flash, and now they're going to group up towards A and try and make something happen.
There's actually a very fine detail, which I'll mention on next round if ATK get the victory, because it will be an eco, but it does look like KZR is going to throw this lurk smoke out apps. They're going to choose to hit the A bomb site, but there are 3 ATK players waiting here with open arms. Blaze is spotting towards Arch. He's going to actually press the issue. 25 seconds left in the clock. The one-way's been dropped and Pitts missed him. Starts with anchoring. He's able to get the first onto KZR. Now his job is just to stay alive. He's welcomed by his teammate, which is Doru. Doru helps TJ. And now it's Mahmoud left. Oh, okay.
I believed for a second there. Yeah, go for it.
I did too. Something that I picked up on, right? Blaze and Dory, they were fighting for banana control, and they weren't able to get it, so they used all their smokes. So what happened is Slowy slid a smoke and a flash, and he rotated over to solo the B bomb site. Because obviously, if you're soloing the B bomb site, you have to have util to drop a smoke, drop a molly to delay the rush. So they tried to fight for banana, it didn't go their way. Then Slowy slid util, so then he rotated over with the AWP. Yeah. And then they had 3 players on the A bomb sites. Then when Exdee ended up hitting A, there were 3 players there with no util, be there as it may.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they were able to push and pull over towards their strengths and weaknesses across the map. That's something I really like from ATK. Just the fine-tuning, the fine details is what makes you the best team in the country, ultimately.
Yeah, I think that's really well picked up on, Nick, and I couldn't agree with you more that it's great decision-making on their half. We also then end up with the AWP at top banana, which is an ideal scenario as well, because that's the most preferred weapon in that situation. So, good decision-making, 10-2. The double AWP is now in play. Blaze has picked up an AWP of his own. Not really the man I'm used to seeing with the AWP in his hands. Generally, the second AWPer in the team would be Mistum, but Fady's been picking it up fairly regularly as well recently. So they've got a bit of diversity in that regard. Makmur looking for the angle. Oh, but he's going to get tagged up by Slowy behind him. He still actually finds Slowy on the repeat, though. And he says, this is easy, guys. Why aren't we just holding the angles with the AK and headshotting them when they repeat?
Imagine that was a strat. Listen, guys, just shoot them before they shoot you. We'll win the game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, point and press mouse button 1. That's the name of the game. Now they're going to be executing with all 5 players into this B bomb site. They have a numerical advantage here, and the Take 9 has got some damage potential. Rusty forces Doro off the angle, and then he finds the frag. Bomb plant's coming through for Exdee, but it is slightly delayed in creation. Thought he might be dancing with death there, planting so wide with the coffin, might get banged, but doesn't. Now it's the one-man advantage for Exdee, but they have incurred a lot of HP damage in the process of taking the bomb site. And you can see that ATK are just being very patient right now. They've got 2 smokes, 2 flashes at their disposal. Probably going to be smoking off the top of banana. Missed him though. Does get some information towards Creation's position. Fady activates off of that as well. Makmur is biding his time with the AK. Is going to go down as well. A kill comes through eventually for KZR, but that's all it's going to be. ATK successfully retake the bomb site and continue their winning spree here on Inferno.
What a great retake. I mean, you're a man disadvantage. Mistum waits a couple seconds to clear out the flank. He does so effectively, flashes in, gets the info. He's the only one to fall in the retake, I believe. No, it was the other player. I think it was Slowy who fell in the retake, but be there as it may. Just ultimately checking all the boxes, doing things methodically. Yeah. The retake comes out, even with the man disadvantage, what we'd love to see from ATK. 11-2's the score, but we are seeing the reinvestment coming out from Exdee, and Slowy still got that AWP, but now we're seeing the AWP on Creation.
Yeah, changing things up, looking to get aggressive here once again. Different sort of setup here from ATK, and it yields the same result, Nick. Again, they're able to find early frags in the round. They just fluster Exdee, and they give them no pieces to try and approach the round with, because they find 2 kills at the start. How do you even approach a 1 minute 25 second round on the T side where you just lost 2 players? That's 40% of your utility as well that's just gone.
And all of you are already tagged. I mean, Rusty's already in the red, and he hasn't seen anyone.
Yeah.
It's a 3v5, and now Exdee are just left scratching their head.
Yeah, it's interesting to say the least. I'm not sure if Exdee can make anything happen further in this round. As you said, their health just not adding up to much. They barely make up one full health bar on one player between the three of them. Just over, in fact. But they do still successfully find the entry, weakening the A bomb site somewhat here. Fady still has support from Slowy on the angle, but it doesn't even look like he's going to be needing that support. He finds his third kill in the round. After that double kill in apartments, he's now dropped back onto the A site and locking down the defense. And you can see all the information there as Doru's already pushed down Bananas, so ATK have all the info that they need to just continue to commit to holding this A bomb site.
Blaze is so patient, and creation has dropped, and the double AWP comes for free this round. Mistim's able to drop an M4 last round with a half, so it won't really matter in that regard. But Exdee's map pick, 12-2 down.
Yeah.
Just sad Exdee noises right now.
Oh man. Anyway, before we go into the final round of this first half, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's fantastic to see everybody here and just enjoying the Counter-Strike on display that ATK are actually allowing us to feast on right now. But I'm going to have a short interview that I did with Slowy before this game, and I'm going to play that in the halftime break or between the maps, so make sure you stick around for that. I'm going to try and get an interview from a player before each of the games that we stream, just as we go further in the competition, get some more content out, get some more insight into the teams, and there we go, finally Slowy gets down, but Slowy gets punished rather, but that was one of his more audacious plays he's made this game.
Imagine, like, you start pressuring Banana and Slowy's just pushing middle with an AWP. But in the meantime, it's Blaze and Doe that have actually regressed, taken things into their own hands towards upper B. They're able to get two of their own, and just as soon as ATK lose a man, they get two back, and Blaze regressing once more. Makmur falls and the no-scope doesn't land.
Yeah.
Now it's a 2v4, Rusty and KZR. Gonna boost over towards second oranges. They're going to walk into 3 once more. ATK and the read. Blaze sitting up close to personal. I don't know to get anything done. Rusty's able to get 2 on the entry. The last player is unknown. That is Doru. Just like that, it's 13-2 half.
They just couldn't catch a break. It was so unfortunate because they actually did get themselves into some semi-decent positions in that half. And unfortunately, they just weren't able to convert those semi-decent positions into round wins. So, like, the scoreline could actually be more like an 11-4 or something, potentially, which is actually not the end of the world by any stretch. But this is the reality. They're 13-2 down. They're going onto the CT side, and they have to win this pistol round, Nick, if they're going to be standing any chance at taking this map further.
100%. I mean, we're actually seeing KZR saving for an all first round. I mean, questionable, considering you're 13-2.
He made a mistake.
I assume that's without a doubt a misplay, but be there as it may, you can't afford to be giving ATK free real estate, and especially when you're 13-2 down, especially when you're facing a team like ATK.
Yeah.
They're just going to do this boost over towards second middle, trying to catch the CT, getting a bit cautious over towards apps, but they're doing the solo B setup, which is actually KZR towards up B, the man with nothing besides the USP. So we're all going to group up towards Banana, actually. It does look like it's going to end B. KZR's tasked with locking this down. Slowy's going to be the first to test him. Mistim's got a flash for this upper B peak, and KZR's going to hightail it out of there, along with a quick CT smoke coming out from Mistim. KZR's fallen back to the site, and now they're going to hit the B bomb site with full force. Here they come, KZR. He's tasked with locking it down. First player to task him is Slowy, but he's blinded off the angle. He's had to fall back and out to 4v4 retake.
Yeah.
Mistim crossing, he's going to be able to plant the bomb and out to 4v4 post-plant.
Yeah, great execution by ATK as they secure full control of the bomb site with all 5 players left alive. Fady tasked with dealing with the banana aggression, which is Makmur, and he gets dealt with in kind. That's the one-man advantage now secured. There's no util here for Exdee to try and get into this bomb site, so they're just going to have to find these frags. The USP on Rusty is good for 1, but Listed just immediately chimes in with 2 quick kills, and that pretty much seals the deal. ATK looking sublime here on Inferno, and you can see that there was a lot of calculation and coordination in that pistol round there from them. And again, they're not just getting ahead of themselves and rushing around the map and looking to take unnecessary fights. They're thinking about their game right now, and it's evident in their approach, and it's good to see, and it just plays into what Slowy was saying in that interview, Nick.
Yeah, 100%. They don't take any team for granted, and we saw that just the way they set up those post plants, right? I mean, if Fady takes contact towards CT, you have two players swinging out from Family and Emo. And like you're not going to win that. You're not going to win those gunfights if you're Exdee in the CT trying to retake. And even though Mistum fell over towards Emo, they had a double Emo setup, and Slowy's able to peek out and kill KZR. I mean, it's as you say, often the catchphrase I caught for you is it's a symphony in motion, right? I mean, ATK, they're really putting on a show for all the spectators. 14-2 is the score, and they, as you said, as Slowy said, they don't take anyone for granted, and we're really seeing that. 12 rounds up. Oh, and Exdee. Oh, unfortunate for them.
I mean, what do they
if
even
you're
do
any
now?
team,
Do they force
yeah,
exactly. Do they save and wait for allow ATK to get to 15? Frankly, I think that's the better decision to make. Forcing here because you're like, no, we don't let them get to 15. My man, there's not much of a difference between 14-2 and 15-2, so might as well let them get there. So you can have a crack at it with weapons at least once in the half. You never want to lose a game without having been able to buy once in the half at least.
100%. And if you're coming back from a deficit this large, you want to be fighting with the best firepower possible. Those M4s, those possible AWPs coming up. So I'd assume they're going to full eco. Maybe that's actually what KZR did. Maybe it was actually a play. They knew they were going to lose pistol, and he's saving from the first pistol round. But we'll see what happens. Exdee, looks like they're going to full eco, and they're going to try and mount a comeback. I mean, imagine a 15-2 comeback against ATK.
Well, that's what KZR is going to bring to the table. It's actually the Giga Brain play, Nick. You're not seeing through it, man. He saves on the pistol because he knows they're going to lose the pistol. Then he gets to save in the second. He's going to have an AWP in the next round, my man, and he's going to dominate ATK with that AWP. So you're going to have to eat your words because that's exactly what's going to be happening this game.
Or like next level plays. It's like not buying armor, you know? Some people just don't buy armor. Like it just in gun rounds, just in general, because you know you're going to lose. You know, just keeping that bank up for future rounds.
Oh man, we're scratching here to try and find something.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pause. We got to do whatever we can.
Yeah. So welcome, guys. Telkom VS Gaming Masters Season 5. This is the championship elimination stage. You can head over to the tournament website. And you can actually see the full structure of the event. You can see the first stage, which was the group stage. You can see how that played out with all the games and the results. There were 2 separate groups with 9 teams in each group. 1 team was eliminated from each group, the team who placed at the bottom. The rest of the teams were seeded into the second stage, which is where we are now. So we have 16 teams in this stage of the event, 8 teams in the upper bracket, 8 teams in the lower bracket, and they are all fighting for 4 spots, which are available for the third and final stage of this event. That is the online Comic-Con event, played on the 24th until the 27th of September. What's on the line? 210,000 Rand. I'm glad you asked, Nick. There's a lot of money on the line.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, as we've spoken to Slowy, they see themselves as favorites, but we're looking at who can take the extra, who can take the spots around them possibly, or even dethrone ATK. I mean, first place, 100k goes their way. Second place, I think, is 50k if I'm not mistaken. And you got to finish in that top 8 to get any money on that green dollar money rand, you know, all that good stuff. You're gonna see what happens, but something to keep in mind. I don't think we've touched on it tonight. Is the loser of this game doesn't go home, which is something we've got to keep in mind. This is the upper bracket, so if Exdee or ATK, I assume it's going to be Exdee, if they end up losing tonight, they still have a second life in the tournament. They're rebirthed into the lower brackets and they're able to fight their way from the bottom once more. So that is something to keep in mind. The loser of tonight does not go home.
Yeah.
It is the result of being in the upper bracket, as you spoke to prior. You want to finish in that top 4 in groups so that you get that extra life in the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, no one wants to face ATK, you know, but I mean, Exdee, they're tasked with doing so, and they're lucky enough that they finished in the upper brackets and they're able to get that second life in the lower brackets.
I mean, that's all born off of their hard work in the group stage, right? The fact that they placed 4th in the group and not 5th, that extra point they had over WRG is what secured them the extra life in this competition. And I see I'm being overruled by my admin green soup. I don't appreciate that, man. You shutting down my mojo as I post links in chat. Oh man. All right. It looked like you took the link away. On my phone it shows that, but when I look on my computer it's still there, so maybe I'm being a little bit harsh. Anyway, we got a bit of a pause here, so I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Let's talk a little bit about our expectations. I'm looking at the bracket now as we see ATK versus Exdee. The next game is Energy versus Online Kingdom. The winner of these two matches play against each other, so we could see an ATK versus Energy game there, and it's the first time they would have played each other in an official game since Mango joined Energy. So that's going to be an interesting game to have a look at.
Without a doubt. I mean, we interviewed Mango prior to the start of the knockouts, which was during the Just Chatting, which we did on Friday, and we spoke to him, and he's feeling confident. He actually said himself that, listen, ATK is the best in the country, but they're not as far ahead as everyone thinks. And coming from Mango in that Energy camp, that shows you that the confidence they got running up into the knockout stages of the tournament. I mean, if they beat Online Kingdom and ATK beat Exdee tonight, then they're going to be facing each other, and we're going to see if Mango is 100% true with that. I mean, if Energy can maybe, I don't know, in some stretch of the margin, beat ATK, then we're going to see Mango's words come to fruition. Maybe ATK aren't as far in front of everyone as everyone thinks, but we're going to see what comes to fruition with regards to that. That is all being said if Online Kingdom do lose to Energy. But as we've said prior, Online Kingdom, they're one of the up-and-coming teams. They're one team to keep an eye on.
Yeah, but you hear that, Mango, in chat. Nick says you guys are going to beat ATK. So take his word for it. He says you guys are beating ATK. It's done. It's a done deal.
I got to back Valjean, I got to back him.
Yeah, well, we were actually supposed to be streaming that game tonight, their match against Online Kingdom, but unfortunately the game had to be postponed because of load shedding. Yeah, we do have another game tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. and I'm actually glad that I have a little opportunity to talk about this because it's going to be Sinister 5 versus Dynamic 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night, guys, on this very channel. So make sure you clear your calendar for tomorrow because, Nick, that is going to be an absolute banger.
Oh, I mean, they played last night in a BO1 and we saw 30 rounds. I mean, come on. This BO3 fixture tomorrow is going to be absolute juice. I'm so excited to jump into it, so excited to cast it. And I'm excited to see ultimately who comes out on top, right? We got that wonder story of the pretty much swapping players effectively. You got the new roster changes that have come to effect. I mean, lately left, or rather got dropped from Dynamic, and he's joined Sinister 5. And the same can be said about Diver and Dweezil. They jumped ship. They moved over to Dynamic. It's going to be a story of the previous players and something to keep in mind. We got the experience of Elusive and Sinister 5 against the raw mechanical aim of the man on Dynamic. And it's definitely something to keep an eye out for. And that is 8:30 over on this very stream tomorrow night to catch it, and I think it's going to be a juicy game. I think we're going to see 3 maps, and it's going to be exciting Counter-Strike.
What maps are you thinking? I mean, Inferno and Nuke are the first two that come to my mind when I think about those two teams. What's the third one you think might come to the table?
Train, maybe?
Train? Maybe a Dust as well, I wouldn't be too surprised of. Anyway,
I mean,
it actually looks like we're going to be going live with this game shortly, Nick, so let's get our final thoughts out on that conversation.
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying, Sinister 5 Dynamic, it's going to be an absolute banger, so that's something to keep an eye out for. But even tomorrow night, I don't think it's been postponed, but it won't be cast or
which one? Yeah.
I mean the Goliath royalty game. I don't think that's been postponed. So that's also going to take place tomorrow night. So that's also something to keep an eye on to see. It's still going towards the upper bracket, but that Sinister 5 Dynamic game is going to be absolute juice. I'm so excited for that game to kick off. But that's tomorrow's thing. We're over on ATK Exdee. 14-2 is the score, and the match is going live once more.
Here we go. Thank you so much for sticking around with us, guys. We apologize about the short delay there. The Exdee players just had something to sort out, to resolve on their side. They are back and they are ready to go, and they are indeed going to be fully saving here as we anticipated, Mr. Nick. 14-2 ATK. Yeah. KZ no, he's ruined the dream.
No, it's not the big brain play.
The dream is over. No AWP in the next round. Now they don't win. We'll never know what happened. In a parallel universe, Exdee won this game 16-14 and he dropped 40.
Exactly, yeah. He just bought that AWP and he just never died again. He just never died ever again. So, ever. No game ever.
Exactly.
He became the best player in the world. But Mahmoud is able to.
And so the tale went. He never died again. Oh, Mahmoud inflicting a bit of death with his Mac 10 as he finds a kill. That's going to be an extra bit of money in the bank for him. $600. 3v4 here, but a big weaponry advantage still on the side of ATK, and a numerical one as well as they make their way towards this B-bomb site where there are 2 CTs lying in where KZR has been forced out by the flames, and he's going to go down to the Mac-10 of Blaze. So in the end, he did still die by the fire.
Oh,
that is Blaze.
Trial by fire, and he failed. Effectively, but
yeah.
Now it's a 3v3 retake. 2 Mac-10s have been recovered, but Doro on this AK, he seems like he's going to have TJ's number. There we go. Slowy with on to creation with the Galil in the meantime. Now it's Mahmoud left in a 1v3. If there's any player on the Exdee roster he wants in a 1v3, it is Mahmoud, but with no armor and a Mac-10, 64 points of health.
He just wants some extra kills,
ATK.
man.
He just wants this rifle of Slowy's.
Oh, and he might get one. Slowy's just backing off into him, and he will just snuff him out and shut him down. And he's going to hang around here, but Blaze thinks better of it, doesn't want to be giving any further kills away. It's a bit of damage done by Mahmoud, but that's of little consolation right now for Exdee. 15-2 ATK arrived to map point. Next, we're going to be going to their map pick overpass as well, which spells trouble.
Definitely. And as you said prior, if Exdee wants any say in the series, it will have to be on Inferno. But unfortunately, it's 15-12. I mean, in a world, again, as you said, 15-15. I mean, there's no open Mahmoud. Maybe it's not a KZR, but it's a Mahmoud. So
and that's also because he got those extra kills with the Mac-10, by the way.
100%, yeah.
So it just shows you that small thing could make a big difference. He's peeking down Banana, but the molly is successful, forces him back, and he's taking a bit of damage in the process. So you can see the protocols are in place for ATK as they take Banana control. Fairly default setup from them as well.
And it is going to be pretty much Mahmoud, which this round hinges upon. He does have the AWP, and he is repositioning all around the map. He started towards upper B. He's still there.
Yeah.
But it is the question of whether he's going to rotate off, trying to make the AWP as mobile as possible.
Yeah, Doru just having a bit of presence towards that A bomb site right now as he takes bracket control. But there are 4 players towards this B bomb site for ATK, and that's where the hit's going to be coming through eventually. They're just baiting out the util at this point. Who's left on that bomb site? It's Mahmoud and Creation. And they've only got 2 flashes between the 2 of them. So the Execute is now primed and ready for ATK. They've bled the util, and there won't be any further response from Exdee. I mean, they can throw a flash, but it's not nearly as impactful as the molly or the smoke, for example. So it's going to be tough for them to hold once the hit comes through.
And Doru's got this aggressive position up towards N1. He can possibly catch someone in transition and possibly even put a rotate, but that's exactly what's not going to happen. And that's probably going to be the call for this B bomb site to come in. Mahmoud is able to get the first on towards Slowy. He's going to push the issue, but Creation's dropped by the Mac-10 of Blaze. Oh, but now beyond the smoke, Mahmoud is pushing towards the side of the smoke. He's got the best lance. He's trying to... What? Fady takes him out.
Wow, Fady came to the rescue there.
Fady's just the guardian angel.
Yeah, he's got a bit more of a job to do now towards the top of Banana as he jostles with TJ. And TJ is actually going to get the better of him. So now it's a 2 versus 3 man advantage for Exdee. Lose this round, they lose the map. So they have to commit to this. They have to give it everything they've got. Blaze is going to go down to the fire, and Rusty's going to take down Mistum. So in the end, they're all dead, fellas. Just get on the defuse. And eventually the defuse will come through. So Exdee, they keep themselves alive here on Inferno.
The comeback can start to be begun.
Yes.
15-2. Now 15-3. I mean, Exdee, just got to take it round by round. Every round is the last round. So they'll be full investing into each of them, dropping whatever they can. Now we're seeing 4 rifles across the board, as well as that big green gun on Mahmoud, which we did see the previous round. Going to see what they can get done against the partial investments from ATK. Just some upgraded pistols and armor on those boys. Let's see what they can get done in this round. KZR is going to flash Creation over towards upper B, trying to get something done. They're just going to throw some utils, show some presence. But ATK are just going to be taking this round slow.
Yeah.
Possible walls. Okay, never mind.
That's it. That activates the whole hit. TJ has to do a bit of work to keep them at bay for that much longer. And that was such an impactful frag because now the CTs have actually been able to get back onto the bomb site. Rusty set up in position along with his teammate TJ, but they have actually lost one of them. Blaze looking to continue to do damage with the Desert Eagle. He's going to take down TJ as well. That's the double kill. Rattles off a shot through the smoke. It's not going to connect, so now he just commits to the bomb plant. But this round has been turned on its head as it's Blaze and Slowy left in the 1v2, and Slowy's picked up his weapon of choice. He's in the mini pit as well. This is going to be very tough for Exdee as they flash him off the angle and start making their way forward, but Slowly actually misses the first shot. He's now been dealt with by KZR, so Blaze has to win it out with his Desert Eagle. He's been able to pick up 2, but I don't think he's going to find 2 more, although he destroys KZR straight through the smoke. He's looking for the elevation. He's going to take out Creation as well. Blaze, oh my god, with the Desert Eagle. Add that one to your highlight reel, Josh. He's been making a bunch of YouTube videos recently, and I'm sure that one's going to be featuring as well, because that was juicy.
Oh my days, Blaze is absolutely giving a show. You dropped 24 kills with a 4K in the last round. I mean, absolutely great performance. That is Inferno done and dusted. 16-3 is the score.
Yeah.
And we'll be jumping into Overpass in the near future.
Jeez, I can't believe what an unfortunate ending to that game as well on the eco. I mean, they may have even forced, actually, I think ATK forced, but they had the pistols at their disposal as the main point, and they still just do so much damage. Blaze with that Desert Eagle. It's one of his preferred weapons, though. He's always been the man to bring up some highlight reels when he's got that weapon in his hands. He provides once again, and that, as you say, is Inferno done and dusted. 16-3, ATK trounced them on their map pick. Now we're going to be heading to Overpass up next. Guys, it's been great to have everybody joining us. Thank you so much for being here. And I've actually got a little interview with Slowy that I'm going to be playing now as we go into a short little break. We're going to take 5 minutes, and when we're back, we're going to be jumping in with the next game. So we'll see you guys shortly. Slowy, we're about to jump into the second stage of the event. We're going into the championship elimination stage. You guys have just come off a really impressive run in the group stage where you won all 8 of your matches without even dropping a map. How did you guys feel throughout the group stage?
I think the group stages for us was pretty, I'd say pretty confident.
Yeah.
Like, I think we were expected to go at least top 8 or 8-0. Sorry, not top 8. I also think that some of the teams weren't expecting us to be like so prepared, and maybe even what's the word? Not expect too much from them in a sense, like overestimate them.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, we took every single official as serious as we could.
Okay, so you're not taking any of your opponents too lightly, sort of thing, even though you are comfortably the best team in South Africa, still giving respect to each of your opposition just to make sure you don't drop the ball in a game you shouldn't, sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. We make sure that every single game we take as serious as possible, and we don't even we tend not to joke around too much in terms of doing dumb mistakes and stuff, because when you play differently in officials, like if you play a lower tier team and you play dumb in a sense, you actually start picking up on bad habits and you don't practice your actual routine, and then that can end up costing you down the line.
That's exactly it. I couldn't agree more. So we're going to be keeping this as brief as we can, because I could talk to you for ages. Heading into the championship elimination stage, you guys are in the upper bracket, of course. You had the first seed, and you guys are playing against Exdee tonight. A few words on that game?
I know most of the Exdee players pretty well. I know TJ, I know Beast. Rusty, I don't know too well. I'm not sure who their 5th is going to be. Like,
yeah,
I think Creation as well. I knew that he played for Energy a while ago before I think Tian came in.
Yeah.
I think it should be a quick 2-0 in that kind of sense. Like, I don't think that they, as players, have enough time to like constantly be practicing every single night and stuff.
Yeah.
I know Tyler also works pretty hard as well. But I think at the end of the day, the amount of practice that we've been putting in for the last few months, we should be able to take it pretty cleanly.
Okay, cool. And if you do beat them as you expect to, you're probably going to be playing against Energy Esports in the next game. I was chatting to Mango the other night. He said you guys haven't actually played against each other in an official since he joined the Energy team. So that's kind of interesting. It's one of the teams that you actually haven't given a hiding to yet. You think that you shouldn't have any trouble getting across the line against them, or how do you feel with that prospect?
When we first started practicing against them, when they first got Mango, we noticed that they had a very big, I would say a honeymoon phase where they were allowing him to do whatever he wanted to do. And like, that's how we saw it. He was going for a lot of individual plays and stuff. which we kind of expected. They were playing pretty well as a team, but I think now that most of that excitement in a way has died down, I think we'll be able to pretty much replicate what we used to do to the original team. So I think we'll be able to beat them 2-0 as well.
Okay, and if you win that game, then you're actually straight into like the third and final stage. You just have to win 2 consecutive best of 3s, and you've already secured your spot at Comic-Con online. I'm going to ask you one more question, but I already know what the answer is. Goals for the event as ATK?
Nothing less than a win.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is the biggest event you guys have actually played in as a team, so this is where it matters the most, sort of thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I think as the whole year has been, and we've been winning most of the tournaments, I think for us, it's just creating a consistency and making sure that everyone stays in the same mindset.
Yeah.
And we have the same goals going into next year.
Got you. Well, there we go. Thank you so much for joining me, Aaron. It's an absolute pleasure, and I wish you all the best of luck for tonight. Not that you need it, but yeah, hope you have a good one, man.
Thanks, bud. Cheers.
Cheers. Alright, welcome back, guys. There we have it. That is exactly what Slowy had to say about the event, about his team's prospects at the event, about how he's approaching events, and how they're feeling about things in general. So we get a bit of an insight into his camp. I'm going to try and get a few more interviews before each of the games that we cast in the nights to come, so definitely look out for that. Nick, we're jumping into Overpass next. It's ATK's map pick. They just came off a resounding 16-3 win on Inferno. Is there any hope in hell for Exdee here?
No. I'm just gonna put it straight. I'm gonna get right to the point. I mean,
yeah,
ATK, they took, as if we said prior, like if ATK, if they had a worse map, it would be between Vert and Inferno.
Yeah.
And they just beat Exdee on arguably Exdee's best map.
Yeah.
So I mean, if there's a way Exdee win this, it's not, but it will be nothing short of a miracle, to put it frankly. But I mean, in that case, I see this as an ATK 2-0, just as Slowy said in the interview you just played. I mean, he expected nothing less than a 2-0, a quick 2-0 is the words he used. And I think pretty much every spectator that came into this game, they expected the same thing. And we saw Inferno go nice and quickly for ATK's camp. And I don't see Overpass being any different in that sort of regard.
Yeah, especially considering that this is their map pick. And it's interesting that they went with something that wasn't Nuke, because that's sort of been their home pick over the past couple months. And it also shows me that they're looking to expand their map pool and try and be like really comfortable on maybe like 3 maps. Because if you can reach that point, that's actually a really good position to be in. So
especially if you're ATK in this sort of regard, where the finals of this tournament is BO5, like, you need to start expanding your map pool if you're going to expect to play in those grand finals of especially South African tournaments. You need to expand your map pool towards those 3 maps that you're completely confident on. That if another team picks a map into you, you're like, okay, we've been practicing this probably just as much as you guys, so we can take your map pick away from you, and that's what matters if you want to win the big bucks. You want to win that 100k at the end of it all.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's 100,000 Rand for the team who places first in this event. There's 210,000 Rand in total up for grabs for the Telkom VS Gaming Masters Season 5 Counter-Strike event. So we will be jumping into that second map shortly. I believe that TJ is actually just topping up the generator, so we're going to have a bit of time to just talk about our expectations here and how we see this one playing out. Overpass is a very team-based map, both on the CT and the T side, but obviously more on the T side. When you've got your T side well oiled and everybody's on the same page and the communication is on point, it's one of the best T sides that you can have in CSGO in general. I feel like if you can nail down the T side, it doesn't really matter if it's considered a CT sided map, because the T side, when a team knows exactly what they're doing, it's very hard to actually defend against that. When the T's know how to take map control perfectly, they know how to manipulate the CTs, utilize the quick rotation between the A and the B bomb site. It can be such a nightmare on the CT side when trying to figure out how you're going to be approaching the defense.
100%, and I think one of the mainstays from a CT side that plays overpass quite well is taking that water control, maybe an early pick towards middle, maybe an early pick towards lowers, etc. But if you're a T side and you can shut those sort of things down, maybe deny that water control, deny that mid peak, deny those early info plays, you, as a T side, a well-oiled T side, as you mentioned, a CT side isn't going to have a chance at the end of the day. But ultimately, in terms of the CT side sort of things, it's knowing when to reaggress, but bathrooms, for example, like getting that extra info, or when to do double setup towards long, possibly if you want to set up for like a bait and switch, something along those lines. But as you said prior, I mean, if you have a well-oiled T side, you're gonna make a CT side struggle to play against you. But as I've spoken to a friend of mine who plays for Critical 5, who played against ATK in a scrim on overpass, and he said they're just so good. Like you can't even, you can struggle to compete against them because they're just so good. So we're going to see that come out tonight. We saw what they did on Inferno, but now overpass, obviously, as you said, it's a different sort of dynamic, a different map, quick rotates. But it is ATK's pick. But I want to see what sort of things Exdee have got in the locker.
Yeah, I mean, something that you were just mentioning there, the CT side, you have to be aware of when you need to reaggress, look to take fights, look to secure map control. It's actually one of the reasons it's one of my favorite CT sides in CSGO, because there's so many options for the CTs to try and make some plays, whether they want to push through lowers, maybe they want to aggress through long at the start of the round, maybe they want to take water control, look to try and take the fight to the Ts. So that's actually why I really like the map from the CT's perspective as well, because it gives them options to try and make plays, and that actually plays into the strengths of ATK, because they like to be proactive on their defense, they like to try and get in the faces of their opposition. So those strengths of the CT side of overpass actually play into the strengths of ATK. So it's no surprise that it's actually an overlap and a map that they're really strong on. So yeah, I'm keen to see what sort of players they're going to be bringing out, and much like we saw on Inferno, they're not shy of pushing right at the beginning of the round, they're not shy of re-peaking, they're not shy of re-aggressing, they're going to be looking to be taking map control back once they've lost it, and you have to look to shut that down. That's the first and foremost thing you need to do, is be able to deny them that initial aggression.
100%, and as you said on Inferno, it was characteristic during their CT side. Blaze and Dora did it a couple times, them pushing Banana once they lost brackets or once there was a lot of mid presence. And we're going to see that on Overpass again. Like, if you're going to set up a heavy possible water setup as a T, maybe sending 3 players to take water control, maybe getting shot in the back when you're in party and the players push long, something along those lines. Like, that's something you're going to expect, or maybe re-aggression towards bathrooms, or maybe even getting shot from the back when you've taken water from lowers. It's stuff like that that is going to be characteristic of ATK, and they're not going to be shy to take those aim duels. I mean, you've spoken about the mechanical prowess that's on their side. Fady, Blaze, Mist, and Slow, you can pretty much, Dora, you can mention the whole roster that are good aimers. Like, there's no one that's a bad aim in that roster. So they're going to be confident in taking those fights, whether you're choosing to peak middle as a CT, they're going to be taking the fight to you. And on the CT side, when they're there, re-aggression, bathrooms, long, water, taking it maybe later around if they're struggling to take it early, which I doubt will be the case, but be it as it may, we'll see what happens. But we're going to see ATK, what they can get done. But I think, as we said prior, I don't see a way in which they lose this map, but you never know. As you said, alternate universes, something could go different, but we're into the pistol.
Yes, we are indeed. No volume. Let me just see what's going on with that. That makes sense. Get that sorted.
Can make gun sounds in the meantime.
Yeah, give us some onomatopoeia there, Nick. I want to hear it. Exdee on the CT side. Yeah, I'll save you there. No need. We're good. Okay, so what have we got? We got a bit of aggression here from KZR. It's 4 sets of armor, a kit and a flashbang on Rusty. So they have got that kit to help them if they don't have the time to get the defuse potentially. But ATK, they're going to be pushing their way onto this B bomb site. They've got numbers being thrown at the situation right now. KZR needs to maintain the short control. He needs to give his team the options, and he does stay alive. Fantastic job by him. Finally, Mistim's going to come in and get the frag. This is one of the best clutch players in South Africa, though, everybody. So this round certainly can't be written off just yet.
I mean, you were able to cast his 1v5, but unfortunately, he's unable to get anything done in this round. But this is exactly the start Exdee need. I mean, you've just got absolutely demolished in your map pick, and now it's the second map. You got to treat this as a BO1 in itself. Exdee, they get the pistol round, 3 players staying alive, and they're able to reinvest. And ATK, I think they're going to choose for the eco. Actually, just as I said, that Blaze bars armor, so cancel that. One thing I'm a fan of is I see Energy play Overpass a lot. Is they always full eco second round, on Overpass. Whether if they lose, obviously if you win, you're gonna buy it. That's pretty self-explanatory. But if they lose, they always say they want those AKs, they want those long range those long range duels to go in their favor. And that's something I'm a fan of. But ATK, they're going to do something different. Blaze has already purchased up a Mac 10. You're going to see what they can get done, but there is a bit of a tech pause.
Yeah, tech pause. Slowey's just reconnecting. His power has come back from load shedding, as you guys might have seen. Mine did as well. Literally while we're on camera having a discussion, my light turns on, so that's the power returning all of a sudden. But yeah, I'm all good. I'm going to be continuing as is. Slowey though, just reconnecting to the grid, disconnecting from his generator, and then he'll be reconnecting to this game. But Exdee, they pick up the pistol round here, Nick, so they kick off proceedings well here on Overpass, and that's exactly what they needed. They needed some sort of a boost, and that's going to be giving them a bit of confidence. Maybe they can string a couple together here, deal with the force buy, and who knows? I mean, they've got nothing to lose at this point, right?
100%, and I mean, this is going to be their first test, right? I mean, ATK, they're going to reinvest into this round. Exdee, this is their first real test of whether they can string rounds together. If they can clear out this force buy from ATK relatively cleanly, if they do win it, like maybe 3 players staying alive in that regard, you can start really stringing rounds together. And if you're Exdee, you need that confidence. I mean, you just got destroyed in your map pick 16-3. You're going to treat this as a BO1, yes, but you need to string those rounds together, especially on the CT side, get a load of that economy of the T's and get some confidence back, and ultimately maybe even we see an upset. Maybe we see Exdee taking this map, but they need that confidence back. As you mentioned, they need to string those rounds together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, we see on their roster they have the possibility to do so. We've spoken about Mahmoud prior to this, just his mechanical ability. And if he can pop, as well as the players that possibly struggle to last map, maybe Exdee have got something to say in this map pick. I don't know how well oiled they are on Overpass myself. I'm not sure if this is one of their confident maps. Maybe, as you said, ATK expanding the map pool. I'm not sure how confident Exdee are, but maybe Exdee are fairly confident with this map themselves, and maybe that's something to keep in mind later on in the game if we do see things getting close. But as I said, I don't see a way in which ATK loses this round. I'm just talking about whether it's going to be competitive or not like Inferno.
For sure. I mean, we've gotten off to a good start for that to potentially be the case. The CT side of Overpass is one where you can also gain your momentum. Not so much as those CT sides like Train and Nuke, but you can gain some momentum and make life tough for the T's, where it just feels like anything they try gets shut down. I mean, we had that... Who was it where we cast that game on Overpass? It was actually Online Kingdom versus Nibble Conspire, where Online Kingdom was on the T side and they were like 13-5 up on their T side, and Nibble Conspire made the full comeback and they won the game 16-14, and Online Kingdom just completely ran out of ideas on the T side, and we saw them eventually just go for that full B rush. That got shut down as well, and that was almost just the white flag being waved at the end of it all, saying, all right, we're tapping out, we're done. And that's what my point I'm getting at is sometimes this T side can just feel near impossible if you just keep on getting picked off around the map. It can be very frustrating.
Yeah, 100%. And we know Slowey on the AWP, I assume he's just going to be taking whatever duels he wants on the CT side, but they are starting on the T side, which I think is going to be an interesting affair. As you said prior, if you are a well-conditioned T side or a well-conditioned team rather on Overpass T side, then you're going to make life difficult for Exdee in this sort of regard. You don't know if you put their doubts in their mind, or if you take Water, for example, and then you have a player holding for long aggression or mid aggression, then you're just going to get picked apart, slowly going to get played like a fiddle. But we're going to see what ATK can get done. Just waiting for Slowey to reconnect for those of you who may have joined late. But we're going to see what ATK can do. We've spoken about them being the best in the country. We've spoken about them widening their map pool, and this is their first task in this sort of scenario. It's a BO3. There's no real excuse for losing a BO3.
Yeah, sure.
But more often than not, right? And there's not many upsets that happen. We can't use that same excuse. Oh, it's a BO1, you know? You can't say, oh, you know, it's a BO3. We didn't play a BO5.
That's not... we didn't play a BO7. Why didn't we have a BO9? Like, where do you draw the line? Exactly. I agree, though. BO3 is where it's at. If you can win a game in a best of 3, nobody can deny that how legit that actually was. So, Slowey has reconnected. Good news. We've had a couple long pauses this evening. Took a while to get into the first map as well, but We've been trying to keep it as entertaining as we can. We hope you guys are enjoying the show at the moment as we jump back into the game here. Exdee versus ATK. Exdee have just picked up the pistol round here on Overpass after they lost the first map 16-3. Looking to make a stand here on Overpass. Make a bit of a statement. Show that they have life in them yet.
And they are having four MP5s rather, or MP9s.
Ooh.
I never remember the name of this gun. I'll be 100% honest, but it's just going to be
that's the MP9.
a five-man B lean from the side of ATK, possibly trying to take short control. And Rusty's actually responded with an early molly, which has already shown a bit of Exdee's hand. Rather, they already know players are being a bit wary, and the flash comes in. Rusty's going to be blind from that. The first player is testing him is Slowy. Rusty's able to hold his own. Fady full blind takes him out. TJ with the trade over towards Lois' creation. And now it's Blaze and Mistim left in a 2v4. Mistim's able to go first. It's KZ. He's actually able to double down. Now it's a 1v4 turned 1v2. The bomb is going to get planted. Heaven is smoked. But the smoke no longer shrouds his vision. He's able to get the bomb down. As Mahmoud Spider-Man's in from heaven.
Oh man, for a moment there it actually looked like it might get dicey because Mahmoud didn't hit him on the shots as he was dropping from heaven. Mahmoud expected Mistim to be planting on default and not actually in the open like that. In the end, they still get the defuse, but the bomb plant is a mini victory in itself. I actually wouldn't even mind seeing ATK go for the force buy. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. They can get the AK on Mistim. They're going to go for the safer option. They're just going to go for the half buy here and get some light pistols and whatnot, but hey, I wouldn't have minded the force, especially considering that Exdee's economy is not in the best position right now.
But Mahmoud has got that big green gun. He's going to try to get something done. He actually legs Mistim early in the round. Mistim's just trying to show presence, trying to keep that mid open there as long as possible for these lowest players to come into effect. And Slowy dinks creation, I think through his teammate possibly.
Yeah.
But the first player falls. And off the pistols of ATK getting work done. Dora upgrades to the M4. TJ comes in to help him out, but Mistim's holding his flank, and KZR's going to fall. And even though this is a partial investment from ATK, they're making it expensive for Exdee. And as we said, you need to get control of that economy. You need to string rounds together, and Exdee look like they may have a hard time doing so against the likes of ATK. Mistim's going to press the issue over towards Rusty.
Oh.
He spotted him out, and oh no.
Rusty doesn't know he's been spotted either, so Mistim, he has the choice of how he's going to approach them, but he has low health, and the headshot from Rusty secures the kill, and he doesn't even need support from his teammates as he's going to take down Blaze as well. Disaster reverted there for Exdee. They've actually been tested in these rounds by ATK, and they've been able to come out on top, so it's looking decent here in the early stages on their CT side. This is going to be the first real test though. AK is across the board for ATK, and they've got a full belt of utility on all of their players. So this is where they've got all the bells and all the whistles. They can go for the full strat, the full exec, and it looks like it's going to be a fairly standard default to start things off with a 3-1-1.
And the water control is going to be taken by Exdee, which is going to be a theme throughout this game. The CT side taking water control is quite an important fight to go down on Overpass. It is quite common. You see both teams trying to fight for that water control. Maybe the late take will come in, but it is going to be ATK just giving it up early. Fady is going to be defaulting towards Monster early in the round. He's going to try to get something done. But ultimately, it's just a slow round from ATK. They're just going to take things slow and steady, trying to hold for any early aggression. Fady's going to press the issue over towards Toxic, and he's not a man you want in the AK and him peeking you. Fady will be taking those ambuls with 100% confidence.
Oh, Slowy just catches the rump of Makmur, lands one bullet, but that means Makmur now has refocused his attention towards long, and Slowy aptly flashes himself so he can get across out of that dangerous spot. So 5 versus 5 here. ATK haven't actually achieved all that much in terms of doing damage to Exdee's defense, but they have forced them deep into the bomb site, so they've starved them of information at the bare minimum. There are still 3 players on this B bomb site, and that's exactly where ATK are going to be making their way right now. Frags being traded 1-for-1, not bad considering that Fady was already low, but it's TJ who's the difference maker right now. He gets himself a triple kill, and he stays alive, so it's Slowly left in the clutch, dropping down from heaven. They're going to know exactly where he's coming from as well. He's not taking the silent approach. TJ might have been flashed there. Slowly's actually been taken down, but he doesn't expect Creation to be creeping up behind him. Exdee winning the first gun round. And just showing themselves that they're certainly capable of making a game of this here on Overpass.
But ATK are still going to somehow have a better buy for the most part. That actually it's pretty much going to be pretty similar.
Economic situation yes right now. No, ATK have the better buy. They've got more util.
Yeah, they do. They do, yeah.
No AWP for either team. It's so weird, man. Anyway, Exdee
There's only
with
one
another job to be
concentration,
done
he's
right
still-
now. And he gets forced into the open. You see, that's a mistake Exdee didn't make in the previous round. They didn't overcommit. Now they've traded 1 for 1. The defense becomes so much more difficult, Nick. How do you defend with only 2 players on B? Well, do you rotate the extra player off, but you only have 1 player at A? So there's the give and take, and now it's forced him into that position. It's awkward.
That's what they've chosen to do so. Now it's just Mahmoud over towards long, trying to get something done. He's spotted out, but he's gonna.
Oh man.
He actually wins out the gunfight over towards Slowy. That's what he needed to do, being a solo A player.
Yeah.
And now it's a 4v3 rather. I was gonna say 2 man on each bomb site, and now it's gonna be ATK trying to press the issue somewhere along the map. Mistim's gonna retrieve the bomb, go towards B as it looks like, and
Yeah.
it's going to be KZR and Rusty going to be tasked with holding this down. A 3-man hit is going to be the call.
Every time ATK have gone B so far, there's been at least 3 CTs there, and that's what's been tough for them to get across the line, because they find those initial kills, but the last trade just goes the way of Exdee. There's now that 3rd player already in position in heaven. That's TJ who's rotated across. The push comes through Monster, but KZR has the lineup on the spray down. He finds 2 players. Fady's able to trade it, but the damage has been done as he gets left in the 1v2. I don't think he's going to be expecting a player in the water either. Might catch him off. It depends how TJ's going to be approaching this. Fady, he taps the bomb. He peeks out. He spots both of the players. He finds the kill on Makmur. But TJ again brings calm to the situation with a really important frag. He's gotten off to a great start here. And
yeah,
he's 7 for
100%.
3, top of the server.
That's exactly what we needed. We needed XD players to show up. We need them to string rounds together, and all of a sudden they're 5 rounds up. They've already got more rounds on ATK's map pick than they got on their own, and this is what we need from XD. String rounds together, get the confidence up. Even though the rounds haven't been as clean as they would have liked, the fact is that they've got 5 on the board, and ATK have already called attack pause. They're scratching their head. They need to find out where things are going wrong. And maybe XD have got a response to ATK's overpass.
I like to see the tack pause coming through from ATK, though, just showing that they're not going to be letting this game get away from them. And sometimes it actually happens when you have really significant favorites in a game. They just feel like they should be winning the match, so they're not going to call a pause because they're around the corner from turning things around and actually winning the game. And then sometimes they actually, like, all of a sudden they're like 10-1 down or something. It's like, damn, you know, we might be, maybe we should have called a pause a couple rounds ago. No, it's too late already then. So I like that ATK are calling the pause now. 5-0, it's early doors. They've had 2 gun rounds that haven't gone their way, but it's not dire at all. 5-0. Good start for Exdee, exactly what they needed. We're going to have another pause here, though, just to figure out what's going on. I see TJ is currently disconnected from the server, so hopefully
he's just restarting his power because his power also came back. So he's also just switching from generator to power, you know, just South African things. As soon as we do things, yeah. But, I mean, Exdee 5-0 up. Unfortunately, TJ won't have that armor that he bought up last round.
Look at that money, Nick.
Yeah, it's absolutely in the dumps.
And that's why you can see
ATK know this.
Yeah. What do you guys in chat think? Do you think Exdee have any chance of getting across the line here on Overpass with this 5-0 start, or are ATK around the corner from picking up a couple rounds and swinging straight back into this one? I'm keen to hear what you guys think. The one thing that's really working against Exdee is that economy, Nick. Even though they've won 5 rounds, they haven't secured any bank. They don't have the buffer of being able to lose 1 round and then just buying up in the round thereafter. They have everything on the line right here in this next gun round. They have to win it.
100%. Everything's on the line. Every round is going to be big, especially if ATK are taking it to 1 player left alive on the side of Exdee, which they have been doing so. Now it's Fady, who I'm pretty sure he's going to purchase up that AK. I mean, if he's a player on that ATK roster who's just got an insane rifle on him, the same can be said about Slowy, but Slowy's going to choose to purchase up that full utility.
Yeah.
I assume Fady's going to go for just the AK. Maybe Blaze does so as well. Maybe even a UMP or Mac 10 on Blaze, so you can purchase up that extra util. But I want to see that rifle on Fady, that one-shot headshot potential of the AK. He did take an early fight towards Toxic that other round we saw him do. He's just going to press the issue constantly throughout the game. There's going to be something interesting to see what happens whether ATK can take all these rounds that Exdee are winning to 1 player live, because as soon as ATK win a round and they string the next one after that, then Exdee are forced to possibly double eco at that stage, and then ATK are right back in the game, right? Especially on their map pick. They know what they're doing. They're not going to get flustered. As you said, even though they're calling out the attack, even though it is attack now. They call attack prior. They're still taking things methodically. As Louis said in the interview, he's not underestimating anyone. They don't want to hold it too late. They want to take it as far as they can and check the boxes, do everything that they need to. And they left themselves 5-0 down, but it's ATK. They can win any round.
Yeah, can't write them off ever. So I see in chat they need 9 rounds on the half. I think they maybe need more than 9 on the CT side. I agree with Zox. I'm going to go with 11. If they can win 11 more rounds, then they will win. Wow, that's profound, Zox. My man, you need to be doing something with that big brain of yours. Rocket
Ethan's
science maybe,
brain,
or something. Yeah. But I mean, how many rounds do you think Exdee should be aiming for? I mean, obviously there's like the utopia vibes where it's like, yeah, they won 15, but realistically, how many rounds do you think they need to be competitive heading into the second half?
I mean, ATK, knowing how they played on CT, especially on Inferno, if you're Exdee, you need at least that 10-11 mark even to have a say in this game. And obviously it could be a round of 2 halves. We could see ATK on the CT side not even let Exdee get into a bomb site sort of thing. Like, it's their map pick. They would have had these things well oiled, well rehearsed. And I think if you're Exdee, you need those double digits in the first half.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially on CT overpass. Maybe it's not your map pick. You maybe not that well oiled on your T side. Maybe your strat book isn't as deep. So I think I think double digits on the CT side is what Exdee are going to be looking for, especially with the 5-0 lead.
Yeah,
running into that.
So you think 10 is enough for Exdee?
I think even if Exdee get 15, ATK could still win the game. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I got you. Well, we're going to be jumping back into it soon enough. TJ has reconnected in the future. Of course, we're slightly behind, so we're just waiting for the Go TV to catch up, and then we'll be jumping back into this one. Like I said, though, money's economic situation not great on the side of Exdee, so if they lose this round, they're going to have to save in the next, and that's where we could see ATK starting to climb back into this half.
And Fady and Blaze have both brought up the AKs, so you got that long-range one-tap headshot potential, and this I don't think there's going to be an AWP on Exdee. I'm not sure what TJ's money is looking like.
The awkward thing is, Makmo only has enough for a FAMAS, so if KZR like drops him the glass cannon, it's like, yeah, mate, well, I got a FAMAS to thank you. So enjoy your glass cannon FAMAS. I said nobody ever.
Oh, TJ's money is also horrible.
Yeah.
And he lost that armor.
Jeez, that's definitely not ideal. Guys, what you're hearing in the background is the boys in the game. Definitely not any browsers I have open in the background, I promise.
Snowy's just keeping you honest. He's just keeping you honest.
Oh god. Jeez, Aaron, I'm gonna have to have a few words with you later, my man. Let me just say, I'm glad your profession is Counter-Strike and not singing.
Yeah, fact. Keep it on the server, not on the microphone, you know.
Exactly. Here we go.
Honestly, yeah, we're back at it.
Underway once again. ATK with the weapons in their hands, looking for their first round here on Overpass. Exdee looking to continue to mount this defense and keep climbing on their CT side. Lack of weaponry, lack of AWP, lack of util, but Exdee, they've won these sorts of rounds in the past couple already. They've shown that they've got the metal to deal with these sort of scenarios.
We're going to see how they do choose to use those 3 smokes that they have purchased up, though, dropping them in the choke points to delay a hit for the next 18 seconds or so. That'll be something interesting, but we already saw Creation. I think it was Creation over towards middle. He already threw his nade and his flash. Every small bit of util on a buy round like this is important. It's going to be Mahmoud tested first. Fady takes 1 bullet of his M4. Oh, he's going to flash to retreat. Oh, Mistim's going to entertain him some more. Like Lil falls, and as well as a full belt of utility, and now they can retreat to the bomb sites and attempt to hold off this ATK hit.
Yeah, there's still only 2 players here for Exdee. Actually, yeah, there are only 2 players here. Unless there's a boost going on somewhere. Creation, he finds Slowly through the smoke and he follows that up with a really nice headshot onto Fady. And that stopped this execute in its tracks. There's still 2 players for ATK and they are committing to the push, but it's going to be so tough for them. They're actually getting rounded on by Rusty as well. And that is a fantastic round win by Exdee. They keep all 5 players alive. They're able to salvage a couple of AKs as well. And that is the round that they needed to start surging in this half.
And we were saying they needed it to be clean, and they struggled to be clean against pistols, but now they're able to bring it out and make a clean round. And if they can keep this one clean against pistols once more, then they're not only able to post 7 in a row, but also able to get the money in the bank if they do lose a couple rounds. But they are just going to be pressured over towards middle. It is Mahmoud that's going to be tested, as well as his teammate Creation. Against the pistols, as Mahmoud absolutely deletes Slowly early in the round as they're going to push up Banana. Both players have been spotted. Mahmoud takes down Fady, but Blaze, with his Tech 9's able to get 2.
What year is it, bro?
It's Olaf Master back at it.
Yeah, he's making that weapon look sexy again. 2 versus 3 here for ATK to try find their first round on Overpass. Man advantage for Exdee. And they've got some util to aid their cause here. They're just being very patient. They're waiting for some sort of aggression to come through from ATK, because that's what ATK do all the time. However, this time they're just sitting and waiting. But Blaze, he's going to get forced out by the flames. I think he was spotted there by KZR. Muslim is trying to activate off the back of that. He's been able to find the first. Fairly low HP here on TJ as well. Nice flick there by Muslim to take him down. Now it's just Rusty, the IGL left in the clutch, and he will be able to secure the kill. And there's just enough time for him to get the defuse as well.
But also, that was against pistols, and one player stays alive and ATK make it competitive. But TJ and Mahmoud, they're able to have 7k, but now both sides' buys are pretty even.
Yeah.
Now we're going to see another real important gun round for both sides. Exdee are able to post 7 without reply from ATK. And now ATK need to start getting rounds on the board. We spoke about that double digits needed by Exdee. They're getting awfully close, but they can't start making silly mistakes now. They got to still take each round, just like they did the last, and take everything methodically, like they've been doing so pretty well to this point.
The problem is that now they're in a position where if they lose the round again, their eco's in the toilet. But we've been saying that a couple times, and they've still just been getting across the line. Once again, Rusty's going to be opening things up. ATK trying to change the pace up. They're trying to unsettle Exdee, but they're being shut down here, Nick, and quite sublimely as well. ATK are going to be getting a little bit frustrated at the situation right now, and just that play alone from Mistem tells me he's a little bit frustrated. You can see the way he just pushed up, slightly nonchalant from him, looking to catch them off guard. He goes down and leaves his team in a bit of an awkward position as a result. You can see it's Slowly all the way on the opposite side of the map by himself, looking to have an impact towards that A bomb site. Let's see if we can jump across here. POV. Alright, Auto Direct is going to do it for us. Thank you very much. He takes down Creation. Now it's Mahmoud on the A bomb site with his weapon of choice in his hands, looking to mount the defense while a rotation comes through. Support has arrived. The cavalry is in position. But the execute's going to be following up shortly. All 4 players from ATK pushing forward, Slowly leading the charge. He's looking for the angle, but the crossfire setup is effective. Mahmoud continuing to take contact with the York, missing a couple of the follow-up shots. He's not going to be missing that one though. And now it's Doru in the 1v3 up close and personal. The rotations are already coming through. He's been able to deal with the first, and he now knows where the remaining 2 players are. KZR wants to force the issue as he pushes out a bank, and he catches Doru off on the York angle. That's 8-0.
And as you said, that round it went off of Mistem just pretty much running up short and not being conscious of a player possibly sitting toxic, and just gave Exdee a man advantage pretty much for free in that round. Made Rusty's life easy, and now Exdee, they've posted 8 without response. There is another full investment coming out from ATK, and still it was 2 players alive rather for Exdee, so they're still keeping that economy honest, our ATK, but now there's a big difference between keeping the economy honest and posting rounds on the board.
Exactly, like we've been saying that quite a few times throughout this half, and it hasn't really culminated in much to this point. Exdee with the flawless start on Overpass. Mahmoud has activated with that AWP as well. Missing a couple of his shots, but he has that ability to just land the nuttiest of flicks.
Yeah.
Everybody quite shocked to be coming back and seeing this result. Well, guys, we clearly have a game on our hands right now. Exdee are providing the challenge that we were hoping would be the case. Fady going to be faking towards this B bomb site. Yeah, go.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Just Fady's just making noise, trying to keep these 3 B bomb side players here, and actually, Creation's already rotated off. Just this one player making noise. Creation's now out of position. He's gonna rotate back towards Dumpster, but it's Mahmoud left towards his own devices backside. But it's KZR. He's gonna catch Fady, doing his own thing over towards water as the A bomb side is going to be hit. Blaze able to catch Creation. Rusty caught behind the smokes. He was able to get one, but Doru gets 2 of his own. Now it's 2v3 post plants, and Doru.
That's nice by Doru.
He's able to get another great entries from Doru.
Yeah, really nice.
KZR now 1v3. Yeah, 100%.
Not sure how much KZR can get done in this situation. Might even go for the save considering the team's economic situation. He's got a smoke and a couple flashes. Gun, full head armor, M4 as well, and he's going to be booking it towards that B-bomb side. ATK, they get themselves on the board here a lot later than they would have liked, but they're on the board.
100%, and there was just great entries from Dory. He got 3 on the entries, and that's the first round posted from ATK. And we said Exdee, they needed double digits, hopefully, to make this map competitive or even take it off ATK. But that being said, it's only 8, and next thing you know, ATK will be stringing 6 more in a row, and then you're looking at an 8-7 half. But that's exactly what Exdee need to stop from happening. They need to start making these rounds competitive, start keeping ATK honest. But even with the T economy, ATK, even to afford to lose this round, they were able to pretty much get a full buy next. But they're just going to choose to rush B. They know they're up against pistols. They're just going to hightail it towards the B bomb side. It does look like it is going to be 8-2. That being said, you never know what these pistols can do. KZR's actually boosted up with the same 4. First to 4, Fady coming in, he's able to get 3, the 180! Fady's going absolutely nuts, he's able to get the ace, and Fady, what is he doing?
Fady with the 180, and he just absolutely lines them up, knocks them down. The man's playing 10-pin bowling out here, Nick. Jesus.
Nuts.
That was nutty. That was absolutely nutty. And that's just Fady things right there. That's where you let go of your mouse and keyboard, you tip your hat, you say, alright Fady, you brought that out the bag, we see you. And you just go back into the round.
Oh my days, and I thought KZR with that M4, he could have get something done, but Fady just says, listen bro, I've had enough. He's able to get 5 in that round, and double digits has been posted for ATK. Slow is able to capitalize on a missed scout shot from Creation. Man advantage goes the way of ATK.
The problem with that sort of a play, Nick, is that could be the play, that could be the catalyst that ATK need, where they just start to spiral out of control after something like that. Everybody gets reinvigorated, the whole confidence level of the team just gets uplifted, and that's where they get back into their stride. Love to see those sort of individual plays, and Fady is absolutely one of those individuals who consistently makes those game-changing plays. He just has a knack for it.
Yeah, I mean, he's just nuts. He's just nutty. TJ's able... He's going to get caught in transition. Rusty's in no man's land, and now it's KZR, the lowest player. Fady is going to have his number, speak of the devil, and he will headshot KZR. And now it's 3 rounds post in a row.
Yeah, I see people asking for a replay, guys. I so wish I could bring you a replay of that. I'm sorry, I'm a one-man army, you know, I'm trying to run all the production and get it done by myself from my home computer. Of course, with COVID, we're very limited for options right now in the way of production, so we're doing what we can. However, I will try to look into maybe seeing if I can set it up maybe for the playoff games with the online Comic-Con, but back into the game we go here. Weapons on both teams. Exdee with the full buy here once again. It's been a couple rounds since they've had the weapons at their disposal, but they find them again. Let's see if they're going to be able to find the same results they did in the first couple rounds. Slowy, very aggressive up long, catches Makmur. Makmur didn't expect a T player to be so far forward. And this is a tough situation now after dropping that early player. Especially because it's the AWP, Nick, because you love having the AWP on the A bomb site.
You want that AWP to be able to take those long range duels from A side towards long, or even from A side towards banana, but that's going to be denied. Makmur's getting a bit too aggressive over towards long. Slow is able to get his number, and that's what we've been seeing, that battle go more so Makmur's way, but Creation's able to win a battle over towards Listem, and now he's caught in transition by Blaze, and ultimately the team play from ATK and the trades are just being fantastic. Fady's able to catch, he should be able to catch Rusty in transition, I would believe, but Slowy is actually going to be first protocol. He's able to catch Rusty, and now this double-pronged attack, it's actually so, like the bomb's still in spawn, and ATK will make it look like they're hitting A, and then Fady lurks out B, gets a kill, and then And then you're able to get a free kill on the A bomb side. And just like that, it's KZR left in a 1v4. And as I said prior, even though Exdee were able to post 8 in a row, next thing you know, ATK have posted 7 in a row. And then it's like as if the first half was extremely competitive. But it's exactly the opposite. It's just been a half of 2 halves so far.
Yeah.
As it looks like ATK got to post the 4th.
Yeah, they know exactly where KZ are as well. He's a dead man walking slowly, going to be coming around the corner here, and he finds the headshots. It's actually something that Slowy's really strong at doing, is these lurks, and it's particularly on overpass where he does it the most. And he doesn't actually always go for the AWP, even when it's an option. You can see right now he has $12,500 and he's sticking with the AK. He loves to try and work this T side and find gaps and create gaps. There's just so much space on that A side of the map, and he loves to work with it, and he's really good at it as well. And you noticed that there, that double prong attack to work out perfectly. Now Exdee have to save again. Pistols in their hands. They're going to be trying something different as they stack towards lowers.
And that's what makes Slowy the player he is. Ooh, okay, never mind. Fady. Oh, he's able to clean up 2. TJ is able to come in and upgrade to that AK and possibly catch Blaze in transition. He does do so. Another round, what we thought would just go ATK's way relatively cleanly in that sort of regard, could go Exdee's way.
Ooh,
missed him.
Nice.
He's able to get one, but Makmu, the trade and the positioning just going their way. Dora able to plant the bomb, 2v2 retake. No kits on the side of Exdee. And Dora is going to try reposition in the post plant. And they planted for heaven, so I assume they could reposition in that sort of direction. It is going to be Slowy that's going to reposition towards heaven. It's just going to be a very tough retake from Exdee.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a hope and a prayer right now, but not much more than that as they work their way into this bomb site. Nice shot there from Doru to dispatch of Makmur. They've also identified TJ's location, 5 in a row for ATK. They've certainly found their stride here on the T side, and we're starting to see exactly why they picked this map. And you know, Nick, just a thought I had, a little anecdote here. Remember how Fady was actually just like trialing with ATK in the beginning? It was sort of a situation of like, he hadn't played in any team since he had left Bravado, and since then it was just like, or rather ATK, you know, after that America stint, he hadn't played in a team, and he was just sort of feeling it out, and just to see how far they've come as a unit, to see how much they've already achieved in a short space of time. It's quite something to behold.
And 100%, I 100% agree with you, and it's not even just in terms of mechanical prowess that they have, it's just the way they function as a team, and just the way they feed off of one another, the way they play off of one another, the trading potential that they have,
yeah,
is absolutely fantastic. But in this round, it doesn't seem to be going that way. As I say, that Fady takes out TJ and makes it a 3v3. A dink from the M4, I assume it was through the grating there. He only takes 34 points of damage, so that could be a bit of a miscom there from Exdee, but Makman is going to try push towards lowers, and Blaze is going to take him out. And just the positioning of ATK is being Exdee's demise, just waiting for this reaggression over the, as soon as ATK rather, they take map control somewhere else. They're just going to hold for reaggression somewhere, and KZR is actually going to catch Fady looking the wrong way.
That's a big frag as well.
Blaze, 100%.
Yeah, that opens things up, and it certainly makes this defense a lot more doable. But the problem for Exdee is look at how split they are on the map right now. It's KZR towards short, and then it's Rusty all the way over towards long. So whoever... Obviously, it's going to be KZR to receive the action. He has to at least find 1 kill before he goes down at the bare minimum, leaving his IGL in a 1v2 clutch. He's going to be getting the cues now as well that they are indeed towards this B bomb site. Miskin drops the smoke, giving him cover. That fire's actually going to be forcing KZR. He takes so much damage. He's going to push forward. He goes down. Now it's Rusty left in the clutch, and this is going to be a very tough situation for him to try and see himself out of. In fact, is he going to go for it? Yeah, he's there in heaven. He's making his way forward, but missed him on the angle. It's just way too easy for him. I'm not sure if that was the correct decision from Rusty, considering their economic situation. They don't have enough for the full buy here. They're going to go for it with it being the last round, but could have had a better buy.
Yeah, 100%. And this half, as I said prior, I mean, Exdee posted 8 without response, and just like that, ATK posted 6 without a response from Exdee, and they're looking like they're going to be on their way to a 7th possibly. And as we said, Exdee, they need to be looking at those double digits.
Yeah.
ATK just aren't letting them get away, but it's going to be a 4-man B setup, 3 players fighting for that short position. And Fady's just going to tell it towards B bomb side, Blaze and Fady open up the round. KZR was able to get one with Mahmoud as well, but Doru and Fady drop both of them in short time. Now it's Creation left. You know, it's 25 seconds gone, and that's a 1v3.
Not only that, but Exdee stack 4 players towards the B bomb site. They make the perfect read. They have all the pieces in place to make the defense a reality, and yet they still can't get across the line. The mighty prowess of ATK is just too much for them to handle. Now it's Creation left in the clutch. Nick, you notice how ATK shifted gears when they were 8-0 down and they stopped making those unnecessary hyper-aggressive plays? It went back to that A execute where they just fully smoked up the bomb site. They kept things really plain and simple, and they just started working a bit more as a unit, and ever since then they haven't looked back.
I think something that I noticed throughout that time is Slowy had this long look going for him, pretty much not going for him, rather throughout the first 8 rounds.
Yeah.
Bar the pistol round. He wasn't winning those duels, not knowing where Mahmoud was playing from, until he just started winning them. He'd peak long, Mahmoud would be posted long with the scouts or peak long with an AWP, and Slow would just be winning those duels, and that just shows that momentum shift that we experienced after that, during that 9th round and past that. And as you said, they're just going back to stock standard basic things, just working off one another, playing together, and just sorting things out in that regard. And they were able to post 7 without response, and now it's 8-7, and it's just as competitive as a half as you could have imagined. But that wasn't the way the half actually went out, right? It was a stomping pretty much from Exdee, and then a stomping from ATK. But Slowy is able to stomp Rusty into the grave. 6 feet under is he. And now it's a 4v5 as the bomb's going to try to get planted. Mahmoud is going to push the issue over towards short. Fady drops, and Slowy with this monster flank rather takes our Creation. Mistim's able to get one in the meantime, and now KZR 1 HP and a 1v4 unable to get anything done, and now it's 8-all is the score, and ATK, things are just going their way.
Yeah, when your health count is the same as the number of players you have left alive, it's never really ideal. Especially when you're in a clutch. So, yeah. 8-8, ATK continue this winning spree here. They've found their momentum, they're in their stride, and it's looking way more confident from them right now here on Overpass. They're gonna have a full buy as Exdee go for the full save. They did they get the bomb plant there? Actually, yeah, they did get the bomb plant, so I'm quite surprised they don't go for the force buy here. Normally when teams lose the pistol round on the T side, but they did get the bomb plant, we see them drop a couple of AKs and Galils. Nice shot there from Mahmoud to open things up though. Maybe they don't need the rifles, maybe they can just do it with the pistols. And look at that confidence from Mistim to hang around. Oh man, the little jiggle peek. Gets a shot off, gets a headshot for his troubles, and now he'll drop back to a more passive angle.
And ATK, they lost the man advantage, and Mistim just take things into his own hands and makes ATK go a man up 3v4 in the mid round as TJ is able to salvage an M4.
At least.
Yeah, 100% at least. There's 2 deagles and... Oh, Mistim actually tagged him with that jump shot.
Wow. He's just baiting right now. He's trying to take the attention away from Fady so that Fady can activate. He's just... When you actually see a CT doing this, you need to ask yourself, why is he being so vocal? Why is he shooting unnecessarily? Maybe he's trying to take our attention, and that allows Fady to get that double kill there. It's pretty difficult to pick up on those like small cues though in the moment, because normally like 99% of the time you're just going to read it as him spraying. But sometimes in these intense matches, you can try and figure out what their game plan is. Why is he spraying unnecessarily? Maybe he's setting somebody up.
And as you say that, Fady able to catch 2, and now it's TJ. He doesn't know where his teammates have gone. All of them have fallen. 20 seconds left on the clock. He's just going to try to die. He doesn't want to die after time and get no loss bonus. He's just going to run into the open arms of Fady. He's able to pick up 3 in that round. 22 kills already posted on the board for Fady. He's really showing up this matchup, and now it's the first time we've seen ATK ahead since the pistol round on their T side. At 9-8 is the score, and both teams with the full investment.
Yeah, this is true. 9-8 ATK. It's been a while since they've been ahead. Full buy round though, so this is Exdee's opportunity to get back to winning ways. The problem is, I fear if they lose this round, that could be the beginning of the end for them. Need to make a statement here in the first gun round. If they can win the first gun round of the half, that makes a statement, Nick. That says we're here to play. We have the strats, we have the ability on the T side to be competitive. Lose the first gun round, ATK are just going to get a big boost of confidence.
Yeah, 100%. And especially from Exdee's sort of point of view, is coming from an outsider's perspective. You didn't pick the map. You don't know how deep their strat book is. You don't know what sort of gimmicks they've got in the locker that they can throw out to ATK. So winning that first gun round definitely gives you an extra boost of confidence and try to win this matchup back. And we're going to see what they can get done. 9-8 is the score, and all the T's are just going to congregate more over towards this A side than the B side. But Slowy's able to catch Rusty in transition, and over towards Longest Fady, Creation's able to double tap him down.
Yeah.
Not without receiving a dink.
Certainly unnecessary aggression there from Fady. Wouldn't really have changed the round if he had information towards Long there, especially considering the forward position they are towards Toilet. So that's a bit of a mistake there, and it gives Exdee some room. You can see there's a player coming through Monster. That's TJ, is getting information. But Slowy re-aggresses, gets all the information, and now ATK will know the B bomb site is about to be hit. Do they rotate in time, though, is the question.
Or Doru is able to trade dinks for the most part against TJ, but 8 seconds left in the clock. The B bomb side is going to be hit slow with this fast short rotate. Can't get something done, but Blaze is able to deny the bomb.
Yeah.
Creation on 17 points of health. First gun round doesn't go the way of Exdee.
Yeah.
Double digits posted for ATK.
10 consecutive rounds now for ATK as they just continue their run here on Overpass. It was looking like we might have a competitive map on our hands when Exdee won the first 8, but ever since then, ATK have just, they've gotten into their game. Makmur has 17 kills, I will say. He's the second highest on the server after Fady, who has 22. So he's still continuing to have an impact here. But he needs his teammates to chip in as well.
So it's not a one-man show in Counter-Strike, eh? I mean,
yeah.
I think Navi's an example of that. You can have the best player on your team and still not win. But you need people to show up. You need your teammates to pull their weight in that regard.
Where I'll compare Vitality. Because this is an eco round, we can just actually chat a little bit. Where Vitality have the best player in the world in Zaiwu. And they've also got teamwork behind him. They've got the likes of Shox, who's picking up a lot of the slack and sort of changed his role to be a little bit more of a support player than what he was in the past. They've got that set up between RPK and Apex, who are enabling the team to work as successfully as they are. So that's what I really like about that Vitality team. Even though they've got so much firepower, they still have other gears to fall back into if they need to.
Yeah, and bar the coaching bug, I mean, you saw Heroic come out, and you saw, yes, they have sort of mechanically gifted players. I think Nico's one that jumps to mind. Not the phase Nico, but the Nico that plays for Heroic. I mean,
what about Stavin? He's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Stawin, actually, as it's pronounced, because it's a V and he's Danish, so they pronounced it like a W.
But it's just the way they play off of one another, the team play that they can construct, that being Danish CS. Astralis made it famous, and let's see what they can get done. But South African CS, it is Slowy able to catch out Makmur, and ATK are so good at just getting these man advantages. If they do lose the man advantage, they just fight it back, make a play, try to do something again. But Fady's able to catch 2 in transition. Creation and Rusty fade away into the darkness. Fady gets 2 with the M4. That's KZ on TJ, and again another gun round. Just players caught with their pants down. Just great awareness from ATK, and Exdee are left scratching their heads.
Yeah. I think this might even be the first round we've seen Slowy picking up the AWP on Overpass, and he immediately has an impact with it. We saw on the T side, he forewent the AWP and rather picked up the AK. TJ at least able to find a frag in the round, but they're going to need a lot more than that because ATK have gotten a bunch of information, so I think they would have actually even traded that kill for the information they've gotten in return. You can see Muslim's positioning. He's corralling to them towards this B bomb site. Fady also locked them in lowers, so they are going to push into B, and that's where the crossfire is set up between Blaze and Doru. Doru goes 1 for 1. TJ left alive, but not for much longer.
12 rounds posted in a row. And it may not look like that at face value. No one would come in here and say Exdee posted 8 in a row, but
yeah.
ATK have posted 12 in response to Exdee's 8.
That's quite a statement,
Exdee, oh, without a doubt. And that's three gun rounds that we've had so far this half, and Exdee, they haven't even made them competitive in that regard, right? I mean,
yeah.
there wasn't like a 1vx that ATK had to win out. It was just they've survived with like 3 players, 4 players. There's going to be the pistols though. They're able to get one without his teammate Fady falling rather. And Blaze full blind is going to cross to the side. That's the messy spray. You're going to clean up TJ. He's unable to double down, trying to change.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, this round is just
just trade frags back and forth right now. Both of the teams actually just getting these kills in quick succession rather. Slowly,
yeah.
Going to close things out with the Yorp as he just brings a bit of calm back to the situation. That was a successful eco round for Exdee though. They find 3 frags, so they do a significant amount of damage to ATK's economy. However, they've got so much money in the bank that it doesn't really affect them that much. Another buy round here for Exdee, Nick, but we're reaching that do or die situation, my friend.
Yeah, and as you say, like we said it prior, making that damage to the enemy's economy is important, but also winning around is, right? I mean, Exdee, they're unable to post anything on the T side so far.
That's the only time you can capitalize on the economic damages when you win rounds, because then they won't be able to buy up in the next. So they've achieved the first step, but can they achieve the step thereafter? Not looking likely. Another opening kill coming through for Slowy, and look at this push from Mistum. He's all the way in the playground already, destroyed Rusty, and that leaves Creation stuck between a rock and a hard place. TJ tries to make a play on the opposite side of the map, but he receives the same treatment. And it's looking like we could be on the home stretch. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Creation left in a 1v4. And it looks like the 14th in a row for ATK. And it's just been a masterclass really from them throughout the second half of the T side. Just going back to basics and just working on that thing. As you said, with their execute, worked out perfectly. And they just were able to string rounds together, have clean anti-ecos. And the same could be said about their CT side. Their setups are just good. They're trading off of one another, playing good Counter-Strike, and Exdee are unable to do anything. If for example, if Doru takes contact over towards B, Blaze can peek off his contact, and it's just perfect Counter-Strike coming out from ATK, and that's why they posted 14 without response ever since they lost those first 8 in the round in the map.
Looks like aggression is the response right now from Exdee, but Mistum's already found one. Oh, nice shot there from KZR. Finally, he's able to deal with him, but they haven't yet been able to successfully deal with Slowy, who continues to be the bane of their existence. Gets a kill with the Orb, and he's tagged up Rusty. That smoke's going to be giving Rusty enough cover to get out of dodge, though, but the damage has been done. It's another 3 versus 4. Again, ATK have the man advantage. We've just been saying that throughout this whole half. They're so good at finding themselves in these advantageous situations. At least for Exdee, they've been able to get quite far forward fairly quickly here. So they're in a position where they can execute and potentially catch ATK off guard. That fire will be extinguished by the smoke, and I'm not sure if Slowy's aware that Rusty's playing around the flower pot, but doesn't make a difference in the end, as he's still going to find the kill. And it's going to be easy sailing for ATK. The porter's in sight, and they're going to be docking soon.
100%, and it looks like it's going to be the 15th in a row. Fady's got 26. He's absolutely popping this map, along with Mistum on 22. And even Slowy's there on 20 as well. And just this round, we just saw Slowy taking contact towards middle, and Mistum just ran up long, and he was in playground, like just chilling, getting a couple kills. Slowy died, Mistum trade. Like, it's as easy as you like. 15 with no response from Exdee. And it looks like we're seeing, as we said, a 2-0 from ATK. Not in the fashion we thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
But you never know.
I mean, yeah, it's been a super one-sided game after Exdee got off to that good start. Guys, before the game ends, I want to just invite you all to join us tomorrow. Dynamic versus Sinister 5 at 8:30. It's going to be an absolutely baller game. You're not going to want to miss it. Those two teams are incredibly close. It's going to be a hotly contested match. It's the upper bracket best of 3. 8:30 tomorrow night on this very channel. Make sure you join us. As we go back into the round, look at where Mistum is, Nick. Surprise, surprise. He's already pushed through party. He's already flanking them, looking to try and catch them off guard in lowers. Does he go down the ladder? Looks like he will be. He's got the info that they are through lowers because his teammate was forced out of that part of the map. He's going to be coming around the corner. He actually doesn't opt for the trigger discipline. He takes the first player down. He's going to find a second as well. Finally, he goes down, but he's done his job already. Now he can just leave it to his comrades to finish it off. 15-8. Slowy finds a frag as well. We're stuck on Mistum's body for some reason. If you could not auto director, that'd be cool.
Such a good play. So we're just chilling in it, and there's the map 16-8, 16 rounds to no response. And as we said, like, ATK, they're just so good. They went back to basics. Everything went their way.
Yeah.
And just that controlled aggression coming out from them, right? Like, even though we saw Mistim just pushing Playground for what we thought was, like, he's just pushing Playground, taking map away from Exdee, not giving them any respect. He's doing calculated aggression and just great Counter-Strike coming out from ATK, and 16-8 and 16-3 being the score.
Fantastic. Super one-sided, dominant, confident, resolute. I really like the way that even when they were down 8-0, that didn't start to deflate them and get to them and allow the frustration to creep in. They were able to reset themselves. They knew exactly what they were capable of, and they stayed true to that performance. So great work by them. Slowy stays true to his words as well in the interview. It was a fairly swift 2-0, not without technical difficulties, at least not from our end tonight. Nick, touch wood. It's going to be smooth sailing for us heading into the rest of the bracket, and there's going to be a lot more games coming your guys' way. This is the first of 7 consecutive nights of Counter-Strike. Tomorrow night, like I said, Sinister 5 versus Dynamic at 8:30 p.m. on this very channel. So make sure you join us for that, and then thereafter we've got a game every single night. Nick, what are your final words on this matchup, my friend?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm lucky we were able to watch this. We saw ATK prove why they were regarded the best in the country. Absolutely, not putting it lightly, absolutely demolishing Exdee. I mean, that 16-8 scoreline itself is a bit misleading in that regard. They effectively 16-0'd them after the first 8 rounds, right? So,
that's
I mean,
true. That's
either
true.
as it may, 16-3, 16-8, absolutely great performance from ATK. I'm lucky we were able to watch it. So, and as we said, it was going to be a 2-0, as Slowy said, as you said, and we were all right. You know, we're never wrong. We never, you and I are never wrong. We've never given a wrong prediction in our lives.
You keep saying this, Nick. Our days are coming. Our days are numbered. I promise you. It's going to be happening as a commentator. It's just, it comes with the power. And with power comes responsibility. So use it wisely. Anyway, so that is the first match of the championship elimination stage done and dusted. ATK making a statement here as they are the favorites in this entire event to win the whole thing. 210,000 Rand is the total prize pool of the event. The team who comes first will take home 100,000 Rand. Massive purse on the line, and ATK are actually one best of 3 away, Nick, from securing themselves a spot in that online Comic-Con. Whoever wins 2 best of 3s in this upper bracket's already in the top 4, so a lot up for grabs. They're probably going to be playing against Energy next. We'll find out on Wednesday when Energy play Online Kingdom. The winner of that game plays ATK. But that's pretty much everything for tonight. Nick, any final words?
Well, I gotta say, we got 60 odd people viewing. I just want to thank everyone who came in. I know that's not everyone who was here the whole time, but everyone who came in, everyone who's here right now, thank you very much for the support. Just want to let you know you can click that heart, make it a full heart, like the full heart I've got for you watching right now. Click that heart. Keep up to date. Follow myself on Twitter at Nick Bart. Follow Matt on Twitter at Hayes Castings to keep up to date with the games you're casting and when we're casting them. As you said, tomorrow night 8:30, we're going to be back at it again. But just keep up to date with the socials and you'll find everything over there. And just a great matchup tonight. And I'm keen to jump into everything tomorrow.
Yeah, you and me both, man. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was an absolute pleasure to have everybody here. Telkom vs Gaming Masters Season 5, the championship elimination stage. We have 16 teams partaking in this stage of the event. There will only be 4 left by the end of it. Join us on this journey. Follow us the whole way through. Be a part of the storyline. We're going to be going all the way until the 27th of September, which is the end of Comic-Con Online, guys. That is all that we have for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show from myself and Nick. Once again, thank you for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you tomorrow. Like I said, hot past 8, guys. Make sure you join us. It's going to be an absolute humdinger of a game. Have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you then.